Flash is coming up at the top of the staircase. There's an easy kill for Hyper in a second and a third. Dark Zero in full control. A triple for Grixer, and there's the quad. United.
Great teamwork. Sonics take the lead again.
Disrupt the best of the best.
His teammate's gone, and what's this? He's got a Nitro Cell as well.
TSM!
Tempo Storm absolutely storms through this matchup. Oxygen takes the series.
Space Station Gaming are your world champions!
Welcome to the last day of Stage 2 of the Rainbow Six Siege US Division. Who's excited for OXG versus TSM? This battle is all about the bragging rights. Who's going to be number 2 in the US Division? Who's going to be number 3? And then later we got E United versus Disrupt fighting for the last spot in the NA qualifier. I cannot wait for these battles. I'm Jackie Ching. I am with Belly and Jesse. Gentlemen, how are you feeling on this very special Wednesday?
First off, explosive intro, Jackie. That's the best one we've had yet. I'm
Yay.
excited. Our season has come down to this very last play day. This is so important, especially for the second game of the day, right, Jesse? Because the winner of that gets us spotted to the qualifiers, right?
Mm-hmm. Jesse, how you feeling?
I feel good. I woke up this morning and there was snow on my front deck, but I think that signifies a change into the times, right? We're ending out this season, we're moving on, looking forward towards the major and everything, so I'm excited to get this all wrapped up and see where the teams lie.
All right, well, gentlemen, we want to get to these matches as soon as possible, but really quickly, we have a quick word from our sponsors, so please take a listen. So how did we get here? What led up to this moment? Well, TSM beat... TSM beat Darks... Or wait, now I'm all messed up. I'm so sorry.
TSM,
Okay, did I get that right?
You did. TSM beat Space Station en route to play Oxygen today.
Okay, I'm so sorry. And so SSG is 4th in the US Division for Stage 2, sending them to the NA qualifier where they will have to battle for the last spot in the October Major. Dark Zero is 1st in the US Division for Stage 2. They've secured a spot to the October Major and the Invitational, but who will be 2nd? Ooh. Who will be 3rd? That will be decided right now. TSM versus Oxygen. And I pointed this out last time, but 1st and 4th were actually switched during Stage 1. So kind of interesting there. Yeah. But anyways, let's take a look at these teams and start with TSM. And TSM, they've been having a solid Stage 2. They're only lost to Dark Zero, and they beat SSG in 2 maps. The score on those were both 7-3. So, kind of getting crushed there. But what stood out to me about that matchup is how well Merc, Chala, and Geo performed. Veli, this isn't just Team Bolamid. No. If one player is targeted, the rest of them are more than capable to compensate.
Yes, if you take a look at their season stats, there's a lot more detail in the pudding, right? Because proof in the pudding, right? That Merc has been arguably the biggest player on this roster, especially given his role. Now, everybody on this roster, fun fact, when it comes to player rating, none of them are in the negative. When it comes to entry stats, only 1 player is in the negative, 4 players in the positive, and that's going to be Geo, right? You take a look at every other team, nowhere close. The effort along the boards from everybody on this roster has been a standout. But still, once more, I want to go back to Merc. Merc has died about 10 more times than Geo, but their kill count is about the same. Their entry stats are about the same, minus the deaths. And I said it last time. But the more and more Merc gets better and he can stay alive longer in these rounds, he's going to be one of the best out there, like, hands down. So I'm happy to see his improvement so far. I can't wait to see what he does tonight.
Yeah, we are big fans of Merc and definitely excited to see how he does. But I want to talk about Chala a little bit. Chala isn't in a role to get a lot of kills, but he was popping off against Dark Zero. And Jesse, he did kind of have a slower stage 1. Do you think that he could help them solidify the number 2 spot and maybe have more success in the future?
I think Chala's been playing really well so far in Stage 2. I think the role he's in right now is really, really suited for him. And the great thing about Chala is that he doesn't really do much, and that's awesome, because when you're on a team with Achieved, Bolo, and Merc, and even Geo, as Veli was saying, you don't need another player who's going to jump out windows, you don't need another player who's going to hunt down frags. Chala does his job. He stays alive, he manages to impact the round almost every single time. He's got the highest cost in the league at 79% average, the highest survival rate at 53, both of which went up in their most recent game against Space Station Gaming. So Chala adds a lot to this team. The fact that he can stay consistently alive, he can consistently impact these rounds by getting those late frags or just letting his teammates frag out and feeding them that information. Chala's been doing a lot of work for this team, and I think he fills in that role like exactly what TSM needs. So I really have been impressed by him, and I'm excited to see how he does today.
Yeah, definitely an exceptional lineup, but let's talk about the other lineup and move on to OXG.
Let's go.
So, Laxine, he is on the top of the leaderboards right now for KD. Vertical, Fox, and Slash are all around 1 for overall rating, so that ain't bad either. This team is just composed of creative gunners. So Bio, while not having the best stats, is playing a role in this team's success, like without a doubt. But when this man frags out,
Yes.
OXG, Veli, absolutely crushes their opposition.
First off, Jackie, you ain't lying at all, right? And I just want to put it out there. If I said one more joke the last Playday about Bio not having to kill, the guy is like 6'8". He probably beat me up by the time I get to Vegas. But the point of the matter is, Bio has arguably some of the most important roles on Oxygen, right? Especially playing Anchor, playing Soft Destruction, Flex, whatever he's on, he has a big impact in the game. And you know what? We're not asking Bio to be Black Bolo out there. We're asking Bio to stay alive long enough to get those responsibilities done. Now, we saw him on Sledge a lot, especially in the first map, last Playday, where Bio, he went about 0-8 until he got his first kill. That's not acceptable. With your Soft Destruction, your utility, with the frag grenades, you have to come out big and stay alive long enough to impact the round. Now, listen, we've seen him on Maestro on defense. He's a tank at times, and when he's on, he's big. So, while the roamers are making plays off the site, I want to see Bio have way more of an impact on site, and especially way more than that on attack, but I think they're going to be fine.
All right, well, definitely all eyes will be on Bio today for sure. But Jesse, I wanted to pick your brain about this. So Dark Zero had success against OXG by getting opening picks. We talked about that a lot on Monday. They were killing important operators. So how do you think that OXG can work around that today against a very strong TSM team?
Yeah, I think opening picks is definitely a problem for Oxygen Esports. Over the last 3 months, out of all the teams in North America, they've got the worst opening kill statistics, only getting 45% of those opening picks across the team. That's not great. A big part of that, over the last couple of matches has been Bio. He's minus 11 in Stage 2 on entry, which is really not where you want to be. A lot of times he is kind of getting picked off by roamers, maybe a little bit of lack of awareness, and that's not necessarily on him. That can also be on, teams not roam clearing efficiently. But last match against Dark Zero, it really did seem like Fox was a bigger problem, particularly on Cafe, when he's playing a lot of these like soft destruction roles, the Buck, the Sledge, roles that are really important when you're attacking specific bomb sites on Cafe. Fox is getting picked like way more often than he should, whether it was from spawn peaks or whether he was getting caught off guard by roamers once again. So I'd like to see maybe a little bit more individual awareness from those two players, as well as more of a team effort from guys like Laxing or Vertical, who can start to clear out those roamers, keep their teammates safe a little bit more than they have been, because giving up that opening pick has been a huge problem for Oxygen across the season so far.
Well, hopefully they worked on that a little bit. But gentlemen, we are actually ready to get into the map selection process. So we are working to bring that information up on your screen right now. And once we get that up for y'all, we can start analyzing the map vetoes. And here it is.
Okay. Oh, God. Coastline. So Oxygen Esports know exactly what's on the line today. They hate Coastline. They always ban this map. They know they're not going to play at the major, so they'll play it today. This is not that important of a game. It is a map that they can frag off on, so maybe we'll see some aggressive stuff. But I think this is definitely a pick where Oxygen Esports just don't want to give up any information, so they'll play a map that they're never going to play again. TSM also haven't lost this map since the 6th Invitational, so they're very good on Coastline. Then they pick Villa. This is a really standard strong map for TSM. They've got one loss in the last year, on Villa, and that was a 7-8 game against Dark Zero over the summer, so a really strong one. Oxygen Esports have played this map a lot as well, so likely not going to give up any strategies on this one. And then Clubhouse, you know, a standard map. Last time these two teams played here, it was a 7-1 win for TSM. But other than that, I'd say Oxygen have looked pretty good. TSM have been strong. A lot of teams picked this map against TSM, so yeah, we'll see how it ends up playing out. But this is an interesting map pool, to say the least, with that first pick by OXG.
All right, gentlemen, so now that we're through the map selection process, who do we think is going to tick this match? Prediction time, Valley, prediction time.
All right, so I always have to go against Jesse, and Jesse had like a 100-0 win streak when it came to predictions, right? I was the jinx, so I decided to big brain it today, Jackie. Listen. Okay. I am the jinx, so therefore I'm going to select the team that I think is going to lose the win, so the team that I think is going to win actually wins. So hopefully I'm wrong. But I'm choosing TSM today, okay? Big brain moment. Let's go.
Is that it? I thought you were gonna give like an explanation. Okay, all right.
Well, okay, let's be completely honest though. Like, let's add some truth to this prediction. This is the last game before the major for both of these teams. They're not gonna go all out. I'm not saying they're not going to try. They're using new strats. They're going to new maps. They're really seeing how they can get their team more well-rounded before the major comes around. So both of these teams, and I spoke to Merc. He said, we're going to try. It's just that you're not going to see our hardcore strats. We're going to put in good strats, but we're going to do them on maps that we're not used to. We're going to try out new strats. So in that sense, I have a lot of faith in Oxygen. I really think they're going to pull this one out. And don't get me wrong for what I said at the beginning. Both of these teams are going to be trying really hard, but Oxygen and me, they just look great.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So you're picking TSM because you're jinxing them and you think, oh, she's going to win.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm glad that we're following.
I'm happy you understood that.
Yeah, I was like, okay, Valley. Jesse, please make your answer more simple.
Okay, I'll make it pretty simple for you. I'm picking TSM because I think they have a better team and they've won this map ban phase. You know, I agree with Veli. Teams are going to be trying here, but they're just not going to be breaking open their whole strat book, right? So there's going to be some aggressive plays. There's going to be, you know, a really heavy emphasis on who can gun better. I think TSM does have Oxygen and almost any other team in the world beat on that front. So I'll go for TSM in this one. I'm excited to see how they play. Again, you know, with what's on the line, I'm hoping for some highlights. I'm hoping for some clutch rounds, and I'm excited for how this match will end up.
Yes.
Okay, gentlemen. Well, we are really close to getting into it all, but really quickly, we would like to ask you to please follow us on our different social media accounts. We got an Instagram account, we got a Twitter account, and if you miss any important clips, we put all of those up there. There's also a lot of funny stuff of these two and their shenanigans and the caster shenanigans, so you definitely want to make sure you follow those accounts. And also, we have a community poll question, so head on over to those social accounts and participate. We definitely want to see what your thoughts are for our community poll. And last but not least, we have Kix and Intero. Yay! Can't wait to see them. They're going to be casting this next matchup, so don't go anywhere. Super excited for TSM versus OXG. We'll be back in a flash.
In our preparation, I'm big on learning how to play together as a team. These 4 players I'm playing with have been some of the top players in the region, and they've never really had to play as a team.
It's not even about solo plays and individual plays in Siege anymore. It takes all 5 teammates to really be on the same page.
Wax moved in for this stage. He hadn't been living here previously. It's cool to have everyone here finally. Everyone just likes hanging out, going out.
Everything's lighthearted, and I feel like a team that gets along together, plays better together.
TSM, again, I would say definitely those guys I'm looking forward to playing the most.
The TSM that we played during stage 1 was a completely different team.
They play more as a team now, but still there's a lot of holes in their gameplay, and we just could not exploit it in the major because we just had a terrible day.
In the major, Not only was TSM playing better than I've ever seen them play, we also played really bad, which also helped them capitalize.
But I think every game we play versus them going forward will be a lot closer than what it was the second time.
I'm pretty excited for how we're going to be playing, especially with the roles that we're on now. So it's just all within the teamwork that we're bringing and the work that we're putting in.
We're just going to keep working on our own play and keep developing like our style.
We have a lot of like good collective minds. Just know that we're just grinding every day and we practice really hard and we're ready to like beat everyone.
All right, everybody, we've got a matchup between OXG and TSM just waiting to begin. My name's Intero. I'm joined by none other than Michael Kickstar Stockley. How's your day going today, Mr. Stockley?
It's going all right, Parker. How about you?
It's going okay.
Yeah?
All right, okay. We're basically on the same wavelength here.
Yeah, I would assume so. And well, we've got a really exciting match that's hopefully going to make all of our days collectively better in TSM versus OXG. So with everything all sorted out, there's one thing that you need to know before we actually get into this match, and that's the community poll question. It's a very simple one. It'll be a head-to-head of who will have the better rating between Laxing and Bolo. And let's not even kid ourselves, we know exactly who's going to win that.
The fans.
The fans are going to win that, yes, Parker.
Fans are going to win that one. Who is cuter, Bolo or Laxing? There you go. Go vote. R6 Esports NA is the Twitter account. One day I want a question like that. One day I want like, who takes better selfies? Just frivolous nonsense.
I don't know. I've not seen many of Bolo's selfies. So if it's a selfie contest, I know I've seen plenty of Laxing's because he posts them to Twitter quite a lot. So
daily posts. He daily posts to his Twitter. But anywho. This is a matchup that's more for bragging rights than anything else. The analysts talked about it. OXG versus TSM are going to play each other at the major no matter what. That's just the way it works because obviously second and third place teams are going to play the second and third place teams. DZ already prevailing. They won their matchup on Monday, and with it, DZ is going to be first overall, and they're going to play the team that comes out of those qualifiers, of which, well, we know that it's going to be a... We know it's going to be a pretty interesting matchup, right? SSG and SQ are going to be in the qualifiers. We'll wait to see whether it's DG or E United later tonight. Tempo Storm is in the relegation spot, so they're going to have to defend their honor against the top team coming out of Challenger League. And then, of course, Mirage. The team out of NA, or the team out of Canada, rather, Mirage, are going to be there. Look at TSM. You're all standing around, but only 4 of you are in the lobby. What are you doing?
Fire
Get in here.
Get him in here.
Get in here.
Who are we missing right now?
We're missing Merc.
Merc,
what are you doing?
Come on, man. They can't hear us.
There he is. He's in the lobby.
Okay. All right.
There you go. Thank you, Merc.
Now we're just missing one.
Now we just have to wait on OXG.
Yeah.
And what are they doing? Are they getting in the lobby? Bio's in.
Yeah, you can see clearly that Bio has made his way into the lobby. We are, in fact, missing Fox right now. So hopefully he pops in pretty soon. Interestingly, Fox is not on screen right now. I'm so used to having him on cam. So strange.
The lobby is about to get a whole lot hotter when he gets in there. Michael, would you agree? Yes or no?
Yeah, certainly, absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. But you know what? In another world, he would have wanted to be a model. He said it himself. I could see him modeling some Rainbow Six gear.
I could too. Yeah,
Michael, I could see you modeling some Rainbow Six gear as well.
Thank you, Parker. I could see you modeling some Rainbow Six gear.
You don't need to lie to my face like that.
No, I think especially if it was like, like lumberjack themed or something like that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
With the what's it called? Like the
flannel.
The flannel. Yeah, with the flannel, some Rainbow Six flannel merch. I think that'd be good. We should talk to Laura about that. I think she could get on that.
I do kind of want, if we ever make Canada Division merch, I would like a lumberjack style of merch.
Exactly.
Didn't Mirage actually release like a red and black flannel uniform to go with the whole Canadian thing? I feel like really leaning into that is wise. Fox A, by the way, is in the lobby, so we are good to go. Jesse is telling us, by the way, that he is pretty sure that it was a meme, which is heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking. So the esports flannel market is still ripe for the taking. There's lots of opportunities for room for growth.
Yeah,
there.
There's definitely a large market for flannel Rainbow Six themed shirts. Now that we have everybody in the lobby, we just have to make sure that everybody is ready to play. It seems like there's a little bit of waiting going on here. One thing about this match, and it was talked about briefly there in the analyst desk, I think they kind of sugarcoated it. The nature of this match is kind of... I don't think these teams are going to be too crazy about it. I think they're going to have a little bit of fun here today. And on Twitter...
What you're trying to say is this match doesn't really have any consequences.
The difference between second and third is $1,000 for the whole team, like split amongst the whole team. They don't care. So... I think they're going to have fun with it. They alluded to that on Twitter on the lead into this match. It seems like they're just trying to, have a good time here. So at least they're going to give us that kind of a show, and I expect it to be entertaining for that, if nothing else.
Well, let's waste no time. Let's see how true that thinking is as we'll head into Coastline for our very first match. And we'll see, are they here to have fun, or are they here for bragging rights, for glory, for superiority? Well,
for the fish.
Am I missing that reference?
I don't know it either, Parker, but it's funny.
Well, their typing fingers are more than ready.
Yeah, it seems
Ace
like
and Jack were the first two bands.
It seems like they're already trying to have fun with it. Now, one thing I will say, and Parker has seen this as well, there have been plenty of matches throughout Siege's history where both teams go into the match with very little on the line and being very, not that invested. And then over the course of a match, especially if it's a best of three, they start to pick up steam and get a little bit more intense with their gameplay. So there's also a possibility for that to happen. I always love it when we see that.
Wamai and Pulse both gone. Fox, you look good too. Thanks for boosting the confidence of everybody involved.
My confidence is boosted.
Is it? Did you need a pick me up today, Michael?
Not
you seem
today.
kind of glum. Are you okay?
Not today. No, it's more like the last few months or so.
Yeah, Michael, roughly since February.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah. It's been a couple days.
A couple days.
About 200 and something.
I hear that February is actually not that far away, and that's got me a little bamboozled, Parker. But anyway, we got the match ready. We're loading in.
Attackers need
I don't know what the heck that is. Not understanding that reference, but it'll be a hookah defense first.
I feel like they're speaking another language.
Me too. I am getting that vibe, but I guess that just makes us boomers, Parker.
I mean, Michael, I'm like 7 years older than you.
You are actually a lot older than me, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel old too, though, Parker. Like, I recently, I think over the last 2 years, I started to notice that, kids say and do things that I didn't do when I was a kid, and I'm like, whoa.
10 seconds remaining.
Time really flies.
5 seconds to go.
All right. Well, I mean, nothing's really funny about these lineups. These are pretty normal lineups here. That scope on the DMR has actually elevated the level of a couple DMRs. Lion in particular, the 417, has shut up quite a bit just because it does have that DMR scope on it.
It's actually a really good DMR, and we see it used not only online but also on Twitch occasionally. It's one of the better ones. And yeah, the 3x optic always makes it not necessarily versatile, but very unique. It's gonna be
big shout out, by the way, to Oxygen Esports, who just retweeted my question. See, production has their question, which is who's gonna have a higher rating. Production, I gotta say, who's cuter? Way funnier question. Gotta go with that one. Anyway, Oxygen Esports tweeting out, we'll ask the questions that really matter at Intero. Who is cuter, Laxing or Bolo? There you go. It's your turn to go vote. Who is cuter? You know what? I'm going to be honest with you, Michael. I voted for Laxing.
Wow. All right. Well, I don't know who to vote for there, so I'm going to have to give it a think before I commit myself to one or the other. But while I'm doing my thing, you guys can go ahead and give out your vote as well.
Yes.
What a vault from Laxing. This is kind of ridiculous. He'll be holding the Cool Vibe stairs from atop the, I guess, the vase perch?
He's sitting over top of the stairs, Michael, like a gargoyle, hunched over the arch, just waiting. And Merc is going to get vaporized unless he's prepared for this. Laxing is backed away, though. He's at the top of Cool Vibe stairs. Sounded like a goo mine might have given away the positioning of Merc from that spot. There goes a concussion, likely from Bolo. Laxing jumps forward, and he gets taken out. That's a very brazen play. TSM with the 2 opening picks. So they managed to go very swiftly to a 5v3. Bio will assume the position. Same shotgun, same class of operator, same position. Back at the top of Cool Vibe stairs. And Bio gives his position away. He actually baits it out very smartly, but he can't get anything with it. He does very minimal damage to just Bolo. Man, oh man, he's going to be pissed about that one. It's now a 5v2 with Geo going for the plan, a 5v1. Fox in a 1v5. Diffuser going down. TSM have this. Fox swings unachieved. It's over. Flawless round for TSM to start off the match.
All right, a little bit of silliness going on there by Vase. I don't think Laxing intended to vault over. I think he wanted to get back on the perch. So it looks like that's a more tricky vault than he hoped for. Even Merc is calling him out on it. He knows. He knows he messed up. He meant to stand on top. And whoops, I guess. Yeah, it's always been, it's a pretty common thing to see somebody vault over the top of that rail if you're trying to hold blue stairs, but it is not typical for someone to try and stand on top of the rail to wait for a push-up blue stairs, just because you leave yourself very exposed. But it doesn't matter. Round number 1, flawless for TSM. I don't think that the vault would have changed very much, to be honest, based on the way that TSM played that. They were really well in control of the round. I love the use of the Yana clone. It was very useful in getting control of Sunrise Bar early in the round, and then baiting out that shotgun blast on Cool Vibes later in the round. That's that Yana coming into play at the high level that a lot of people forecasted when she was first announced. There's so much utility that you can squeeze out of a fake person. And TSM doing a good job of that so far.
10 seconds left.
Well, that's round 1 in the books.
Yes.
Round number 2 down in kitchen. Thank you everybody who's participating in the poll. The real poll. I'm overthrowing production, Michael. We are going to launch a crusade.
This is a coup?
This is a coup d'etat. That is correct. I will... Production, we are coming for you. We are coming for your headquarters.
Yep.
We will storm the gates.
Usurp the throne.
Correct. Oh, Slash. What are you doing, man? He peeks through the mudroom doors and he gets taken down by the DMR and picked right back up. Crusade is on pause right now because there's action, Michael.
And
we will hold fire.
Slash will not, though, as he attempts to get his HP value back, and he'll do just that. Shala goes down. Great shot from Slash. Foxay here to support. He's got the C4, but the Suns are coming towards these defenders in the bar. A nice creep up here by Merc, and he will get Slash. Finally, the second defender has managed to make his way into the kitchen hallway. That's the Valkyrie. Merc checks it, and he's missing the shots. That is unfortunate, but Bolo won't, and Foxay does go down.
TSM have the control they want. It'll leave Vertical and Bio to retake as best as they can. Bio's in the bomb site, but Vertical is far away, up in luggage, watching through courtyard so he can drop and get to the bomb site quickly if he needs to. And he engages with a fight with Bolo, and like so many, he loses that one, leaving Vertical in a clutch or kick moment, 1v3. Diffuser still in the hands of Geo, and he's going to go for the plant. That was already open, but Vertical opened it just in case. Anyway, second time, he'll head back. It's spotted and tagged by a drone inside a blue bar and will march forward towards kitchen as TSM gets that diffuser down. Playing against one that's behind the shield. That's a missed shot from Vertical. He knows how challenging this is going to be. Very adeptly dodging around the flash. The diffuser in the other bomb site playing peekaboo over the shield, but Vertical can't land the shots. He's forced out into the hallway, still waiting. And there is a crossfire for him the moment that he moves into kitchen. You can see through those slats on the shield, and that's going to put Vertical at a huge disadvantage. He charges forward anyway, and there's the crossfire we were talking about. Geo all the way inside the lobby finishes that off, and TSM go up 2-0.
Basically no chance there for Vertical. The round was won and lost inside of Sunrise Bar much earlier. Now, This is where it ended up going the way of TSM. You see Merc gets control of Sunrise. He's got support from Bolo inside of Blue Bar. And that Crossfire doesn't just get control of Sunrise, but also punishes all of the roamers from OXG who were playing by Sunrise, trying to delay, trying to get some kills. And despite Slash's pick earlier in the round, well, the answer back from TSM was just far too fierce for Oxygen. With push back into the site, just didn't work out for the defense, and at that point, you're twisting in the wind. So Oxygen struggles so far on Coastline over these first 2 rounds. A flawless round to start things off for TSM, and a pretty definitive second round. We'll see if Oxygen can start to change the pace here on defense, or if it'll really come down to that half switch.
Michael, somebody just linked to me the Thomas Jefferson 76 videos, and I gotta say, it is inappropriate.
Let me see.
Somebody tagged you in on Twitter too.
Okay.
It is wildly inappropriate.
I'll go check it out.
But it's very funny.
All right, give me a
It
second.
is absolutely not something that we could ever share on a broadcast, but
I don't
you can
have
chuckle in private about it.
I don't have the tag. Let me see here.
You definitely got tagged, Michael.
Oh, okay. Well, Twitter's...
I know that you're verified on Twitter now, Michael, but you should really check the other tabs instead of just the verified tab. You need to get out of your ivory tower. So.
I'm not in the verified tab. I don't see it.
The first thing he said to me when he landed back in California was, "How much do you think it'll cost for me to purchase enough ivory to build this tower?"
What?
And can Face It help pay for it? So I have the receipts.
I didn't know
I have
such
the receipts.
thing.
I'm willing to go public.
I dispute this. Slash challenging the White Repel. This is very dangerous. He's actually put himself between a rock and a hard place. He'll either die or get the kill there, essentially. Either that or both these players will potato. I don't know. Parker, what do you think? Well, who's gonna take this?
I mean, right now, TSM's looking pretty good. This is OXG's map.
Oh.
And Chala gets a little bit too aggressive with Slash on the repel. Slash ends up punishing it, and that's an opening pick. Again for OXG, 2 rounds in a row where Slash has been the one involved in that. Geo now in a battle to the death with Vertical. They'll both lose a lot of HP. Geo more so. And then Vertical finished off by Bolo, who's playing at the top of main stairs. White stairs, whatever you want to call it. Geo gets down. I don't know if that's deliberate for a reset or not. Slash was poised to sneak up on Bolo, playing over by luggage, but Slash is going to wait. Joining Slash down below will be another T5. There you go. You got it this time. Swing and a miss for Achieved as he connects with the floor, and he will go to town upstairs inside a penthouse and now over towards VIP as well. Both of these teams at a 4v4 with half the round to go, and Geo will contest the position that Bio is holding. Problem for Geo is that with 20 HP, those gas canisters from Bio are going to kill Geo real quick.
He'll probably die to shotgun blast or an SMG-11 shot from just about anywhere as well. So Biologic in a great position when it comes to who's contesting him. TSM clearly aware that there is an SAS operator inside of service, or at least that's how it seems with these shots ringing out from above. Geo's going to drone it out. Bio has been spotted, and now they're all hunting him. Known behind the shelf, Bio is going to have to pre-fire as he swings this. The EE1D will make that very difficult. 2 people holding the angle. Come the nade, and down he goes. Merc from outside will get the kill. Foxay does get Bolo, though. That's a C4 from below, allowing a rotation of Foxay back towards service entrance. But as you can see, TSM are not in any kind of a rush right now. Laxing inside of main.
Achieved upstairs, continuously picking away at that floor. It'll put more emphasis on the players from TSM down below, of which one was Merc, and now he's removed. So would not be surprised here if Achieved tries to get down to the bottom floor. Geo attempts the plant, but he gets shaken off for now. Laxing involved with an altercation above as Achieved is just watching over these openings created. Down goes Laxing, so Geo's going to have to plant. It's all on Slash to try to clutch, but he's going to get caught in the crossfire. He gets it anyway. Achieved can't shut him down. What a clutch by Spencer Oliver, and OXG finds their first round.
Big clutch there from Slash. Really should have gone the way of TSM, but just a little bit too much hesitation on that plant. Merc calling out the nice shot there for Slash. Respect where it is due. Good round overall from Slash. Also, he got that lead off kill and managed to keep himself alive for the remainder. TSM did a great job of getting control upstairs, but in the end, service entrance just wasn't cared for enough, and it bit back. Oxygen, the victor in that final fight. Hookah Billiards, the next bomb site here for OXG. I'll try this once more. Kitchen finally working out. It hasn't been a very friendly defensive half for Oxygen so far, but it's good for them that they managed to at least get that one round. Maybe their fortunes are going to start to change. One thing of note is that we don't have an IQ on the board right now for TSM, as opposed to the previous round. And Foxe has brought that Valkyrie. Valkyrie, as an operator, is exceptionally potent on Coastline, so the lack of an IQ will give information favor towards Oxygen in all likelihood.
10 seconds left.
All right, back over to Hookah as we're seeing the same two-site rotation come out. I mean, there's no real point to go to the double bars. There's obviously never a point to go over to Penthouse Theater.
Yeah.
We are dealing with sane people here. Though I feel like OXG, when they competed under Reciprocity, went to Penthouse Theater a couple times, and every single time we were left thinking, oh, that's kind of strange.
Well, they were a little bit less sane back then, Parker. They've come a long way.
That is true. That is very true. There was an insanity born in their gameplay, a madness in us all. So they're still going to defend over in this part of the map, and Slash is having a terrific start to this game. So far, he's got 3 opening picks in 3 consecutive rounds. And if you look at the tally to his name, that's 5, including the clutch against Geo on the previous round. These are all big, meaty, impactful kills. And Slash is showing why he was a desired pickup for OXG. He'll be involved in a tussle with Achieved and gets finished off by Achieved before Laxing and Bio can find the scoreboard. And with that, TSM's numbers will just dwindle downward. That is not ideal for them, especially when Geo is going to have to go for this plant, and it'll put Achieved in a spot where he's going to need to cover. OXG is still spread out evenly all across the map, so there's work cut out for TSM right now. They've got their eyes spotted on the Jaeger of Vertical, who is sitting on the cams, but he'll get off, and he's obviously very wary of getting pinged by one of those drones. Geo could be poised to strike if he can play around that bar. Some shots ringing through, and there it goes. But Geo can't follow up just yet. They'll try to flash away. The Jaeger's going to swing. Geo gets taken out, and now it's more on the shoulders of Achieved. A 1v4 with Geo bleeding out on the balcony.
Achieved is looking to cover luggage while taking the fight to the Jaeger. He finds the Jaeger, wins that one, but there's another inside of Billiards who lights him up. Checks right side. The opponent is left side. Achieved will survive, but no kill for him. Biologic falls back to the main bar, thinking better of his aggression, knowing that he needs to now play for the win. With both of these attackers having such low HP, their chances are less than slim. Oxygen should be able to win this one on utility alone, with the last 50 seconds starting to come into play here. Default cam finally done away with inside of Aqua. Flank is a concern for TSM, as you can see. Evidently, they do not have an extra drone to throw on their flank, and that'll cause problems. Oxygen are going to double up on the pink bar to try and assure that there is no chance for the attack. One of TSM's attackers, Geo, has gone onto the big window, but Achieve will be finished off by the smoke inside of Aqua, so Geo now has to go back to Aqua. The plan is not working out. This should be an easy wait out for Oxygen. The gas canister will prove lethal to Geo, so all he can really do is wait this round out. It's always unfortunate when you get put into a position like this as Geo, or, you know, anyone really. And there you go. Laxing locks it down. Oxygen will take another round. Their second overall for the map.
A bit closer than I think people had anticipated here, given that we mentioned how the stakes are not particularly high for either team. There's not an awful lot on the line here, but anyway. That's round number 4 in the books. Teams are tied back up, and a lot of that round was just simply solo entries from TSM met by solo flanks and solo roams from OXG. It collided, and OXG managed to win most of those engagements while TSM's focus was elsewhere. So we like to talk a lot about how OXG typically plays on their own, unsupported. This was something that the analysts mentioned in the preamble, the lead up to the show, or pre-up, I guess we can call it. I'm mashing the idiot, but
the preamble. What?
Yeah, the preamble. That's what I said. It's called pre-up, lead up.
Oh, okay, yes. The idioms were smashed.
Yes. Anyway,
as you said.
point I was trying to make is that Oxygen oftentimes plays on their own. There's a reason why their entry stats tend to be so grim, and it's because sometimes they play aggressively based off of their own instincts and skills, not necessarily off of the strategy involved with the entry. And a lot of times, if you need to entry and you're getting 1 or 2 people to drone you in, but there's no follow-up, that can be a trouble. We've seen teams entry with 2 people side by side, and when 1 drone guiding both of them in so that you can minimize any damage done by hopefully getting a trade-off. I mean, obviously, that's a gamble because the defender can kill both of you, but more often than not, you get the trade, and that's good. OXG doesn't tend to do that. And this, very similarly on defense, a lot of times when OXG roam, they roam on their own. They are not fully supported by one another. And that comes with the same form of gamble. Whereas if you get picked off, you die for basically nothing. And you hope to God that you were able to waste some time or some gadgetry in that process.
Slash has been doing great of just that, really. Not only wasting plenty of time so far on defense, but also picking up the kills that can at times be elusive for many players. Not so for him. He's got a nice setup over by Kitchen, as you can see, some pre-made punch holes, bullet holes, all set up in an array to allow him to engage whatever he wants, whenever he wants. He even has support from his teammates galore on this double bar defense. Office still well in hand for Oxygen. No pressure by Mud. TSM going for a full clear, it seems. They want to take out the top floor, establish there are no roamers upstairs, probably put up some flank watch on both of the rotates back up top. It's the main lobby stairs and cool vibes, and then start hitting the site. They'll be doing that from the east side of the building, which is not necessarily counter to the norm, just it's usually the secondary route to attack this site. And obviously Oxygen can handle this. They just need to adjust a little bit to deal with it, point their guns in the opposite direction.
This is probably the slowest round that we've seen so far between these two teams. And just as I say that, Bolo gets pick number 1 onto Laxing. And he's very vulnerable and exposed inside of that lobby. He'll get circled by 2 separate members of Oxygen. And if they pinch him correctly, there's no way Bolo will be able to take out more than 1, even if that. Bolo's teammate Merc, as they refer to him as, well, he's down for the count, but he's not out just yet. Vertical gone as well from Bolo's second pick. Trying to secure Merc inside a kitchen is Slash, his position given away. All the while, TSM cleaning up off-site. Biologics found by Geo. Slash inside of Sunrise. He'll have to fight his way out. He's very minimal info, and as Legion, he can at least try to hold things down. He's got 3 goo mines remaining. He can toss those out for some intel, maybe some damage. Great shot underachieved. And now he knows that there's another inside of Mudroom, and he'll fire some bullets in that direction. He sees the elbow of Chala, but cannot connect, and he'll get spotted from Geo on another angle. Bolo's there, and with only 2 members from Oxygen on the board, those 2 kills for TSM gives them the round, and with it, they regain the lead.
This was a nice attempt there from Slash. He got a little overzealous with the player in that corner and went for the push, but really he had no choice at that moment. There was the walls were closing in, or I guess I should say opening up around him, and forced into a really tricky position. Oxygen lost too many players to Bolo over by the main lobby with very little answer back. Yes, they did manage to down Merc, but it was not enough. And they also got a little too fixated on that Merc down inside of Kitchen. TSM were able to punish Oxygen every time Oxygen went for an aggressive play to try and secure a kill, or just get a frag in general anywhere else on the map. Well played to Bolo by the main lobby. A particularly good round there. He has had a particularly good half so far with 8 frags, leading the lobby right now. He also managed it in the last round with very little HP, which makes it doubly impressive.
It was the first double bars defense, wasn't it? As well, or was that a...
Yeah. I think so.
I was going to say, I wasn't really too concerned with the bomb site because all the action was happening off of it.
Yeah, most of it by the main lobby and
yeah,
kitchen. It is always... I mean, it's not an uncommon occurrence, especially with Oxygen, right? They have a tendency to, well, as Bacon put it, throw bodies at the problem. And
not even just Oxygen, but it's also a Coastline thing too.
That's facts.
There are a lot. Coastline and Clubhouse are 2 maps where it's not unusual to see a single player left on the bomb site and all the rest scattered about.
Mm-hmm.
you know, clubhouse basement, you keep one person on the bomb site, everybody else is playing somewhere completely differently. I mean, CCTV cache on clubhouse, you can get kind of the same if you have one person inside of CCTV and then nobody's in cache. You got two roaming over by master, one garage, one top of red. Technically, you've only got one person in the bomb site, even though they're real close. So yeah, I think it's a combination of OXG just liking to roam as aggressively as they are. And like I said, it's often unsupported. Whereas it's a map like Coastline. It's quite open. It's quite sprawling because of that center portion, garden, you know, courtyard, whatever you want to call it. If you're upstairs, you can usually get back to the downstairs portions of the bomb sites within 5 seconds. So it allows you to at least move pretty quickly through the map.
The first fight's going to go the way of Vertical, and it was decently late into the round. Some damage done to Geo as well, but we've seen Geo on low HP plenty with that DMR on Lion. He has been doing a great job of winning gunfights with low HP. So I don't think that's going to get in Geo's way. Well, it doesn't seem likely to me. Kitchen window getting opened up. It's a good cross there for the roamers that has been cut off now by the attack. Looks like TSM wants to make an entry by service entrance. They're not fully committed to that play yet. And they also have to keep in mind the time is a factor. Vertical with a great angle there onto Geo as the Lion attempts to get near service entrance. And inside of Kitchen, Merc will get Biologic. That is a great kill on one of the anchors. Foxay, though, retreating back into the site, will get one / another. There's the second and last for Foxay. Oxygen will take the round. A swift end to a very slow execution.
So right back where we started, 3-3 on Coastline. I don't know exactly who walks away from that first half in better position because both teams seem to have their strengths in certain rounds. And I mean, the first couple rounds in particular didn't really look like Oxygen was trying all that much. They were joking around, so was TSM. This match will very likely tighten up unless they decide to just go completely off the rails. I don't suspect we're going to see that happen. So what does the future hold for us on a TSM defense? Well, they're going to go to the double bars. They're going to bring a Mira. They will very likely set up upstairs. TSM loves to play an aggressive style of attack, and they also like to do the same on defense. These teams have similarities in that regard. The difference is that TSM's gunners have been, I would say, statistically better so far through all of the NA League, but I mean, when you've got Laxing, and you've got Vertical, and you've got Foxay on the team, and with how Slash is playing today, Oxygen is very capable of keeping step. There's nothing that we're seeing here right now in this initial setup from TSM that looks outside of the norm. There's going to be a mirror window being placed immediately by Geo inside of the blue bar that's going to stare, or Sunrise rather, that's going to stare into that blue bar. And then both the walls inside of blue bar will be closed off. The point of attack for Oxygen, which are bringing a hard destructor, and Foxay on Hibana, will very likely be on that office wall, and then the plant will likely focus on being behind the A bomb site. I suspect we are going to see an A take because of that mirror window and its position. The ground inside of Sunrise will likely be held onto for quite a while, and OXG will wisely decide that the office is a safer bet for them, at which point you have to bait out any post-plant utility or pre-plant utility, which will be the smoke canisters and 2 nitro cells in the hands of both Malusi and Mira.
Oxygen going to be clearing out the top floor here. Merc will be their adversary, along with Bolo by the main stairs. All they need to do is delay for a decent chunk of time, and job done. No kills necessary, but they, of course, would contribute. Here comes the first challenge. Bolo will fall back after he gets droned out and hears the guns rattling off. Slash, now having control of top main stairs, will actually be forced to drone thanks to the tracers there. And Achieved runs out of the service entrance door to take down Biologic. There goes your buck. So the first attack round not looking so great for Oxygen, at least so far. They have at least gotten control of the majority of the top floor, but at what cost now? Look at that. Vertical dies from below a well-placed C4 from Achieved. That's his second in this round.
So, this is similar to what we saw to Oxygen when they were playing on their defensive roam and how they were able to excel from their off-site play. Merc is next up. He takes the head off a Slash. He has Diffuser as well. That'll be called out. And cue a rotate from Laxing. We'll need to head over towards the actual bomb site. He's not too far off of Foxay. The problem is that the diffuser is way far away. Foxay and Laxing have pulled off clutches before. It is very doable. They're gonna be quite worried about this one.
They are the duo from Oxygen as of late. Had them clutch up a few big rounds in their last matchup. I don't see it here though, Parker. Foxay's gonna drop into Garden. He's alone right now, just trying to get that diffuser. Bolo kills him from the bottom of main stairs. He's been playing around this main staircase the entire round. Laxing by Mud, no real chance here. He'll just go for some challenges, try to make it a non-flawless round, pad his stats a little bit. But at this point, it's all lost.
I mean, the question was who's going to come out of it with a higher rating, Bolo or Laxing. I mean, we joked about it being who's cuter. Laxing goes for a cute play, vaulting through the window right into the middle of the bomb site. He gets shut down by Chala. And it's 4-3 for TSM. They take their very first defense.
If that was the cute play, does that up his cute statistic while simultaneously lowering his rating?
I mean, to be fair, there was a pretty good post on Twitter.
Let's hear it.
From actually a man whose casting I have enjoyed in Challenger League, Crow. I don't know if you've watched any of NA Challenger League. You don't need to answer that, but I have watched some of it, and I will say that our young friend Crow is doing a pretty good job. All the Challenger League casters are doing a pretty good job. But, and I quote, "All right," Crow says, "regarding your question, Mr. Intero." Mr. Intero is my father, by the way. I am just Intero, just for further clarification. "This question is a little misleading. Laxing obviously has a more manly thing going for him, so I'd reserve to call him handsome or hot, where Bolo has more boyish charm and looks younger, so therefore I'd reserve for him a more classically cute." And you know what? It's a damn good point.
All right. Well, now
if
that
you have not noticed, I am very committed to this poll.
Yeah, I am picking up on that, Parker.
This is the most investment I've ever had in a community poll.
All right. Well, I hope its stock rises for your sake, Parker. And I'm very happy for you that you found your passion. I still don't know who I would vote for. I'm gonna leave that open. Maybe get to it later after the match. We'll see. We'll see. To answer your question earlier, I have watched most of North American Challenger League, but no, I have not listened to any casting.
Wow, and you haven't even invited me to watch it together. That's incredible.
Would you like to do that? I would love to watch Challenger League with you.
I would as well. I'm usually filming though on Saturdays when it's on, so I can't. I just watch it at the studio. But
you're very busy. That's usually why. Yeah. Anyway, speaking
so
of,
is Oxygen.
Geo is going to be felled by the busy nature of Oxygen, as you say. I was actually going to go the other way around. I was going to say Geo's got a lot on his hands with the nades and the bullets and the standing still from the lion and the... But never mind.
I mean, you are correct. Both were busy.
Very.
Yes.
While we were prattling on.
I wouldn't describe it as prattling.
Okay, okay.
Anyway.
Bantering?
There goes another EE1D. One remaining for Laxing, who's been actually tied for the quietest player in this lobby. Obviously not on Twitter or social media, but in-game, not going the best for him. The best player on OXG so far statistically in this game is none other than Slash. He is gone. He gets into an altercation with Merc, he loses it. Takes Merc down to very low HP, but you know that when a Jaeger or an Ash even has 1 HP, they can do some significant damage. Half of the round gone, already a lot of action, which has characterized this matchup between OXG and TSM, as neither team seems too eager to take their foot off the gas. And OXG and both Foxay and Vertical are mere steps away from the bomb site, one being chased off by a window, the other being chased off by a gas canister. Reluctance on Foxay's part to just barge into the bomb site. Laxing will give them some assistance, possibly some covering fire, as the last EE1D will go from the Lion. He is now utilityless. All he has in his hands is the Vector, so killing potential is the name of the game for this Lion. Burning the ADS is Vertical. Laxing engaged in a fight over in lobby. Bolo takes down Bio, the one member of OXG we didn't know the location of, and he finds himself down at the hands of the Vector inside of the lobby. Vertical punished by Achieved as the Valkyrie flies under the radar. Chalice set up over by Pantry. He's watching. He sees somebody through the wall, or so he thinks, trying to take care of Laxing inside a courtyard. It's achieved. We'll do that. Fox A guns down achieved, but it's a 1v3. 30 seconds remaining, and Fox A is only on 50 HP. There's still one gas canister left and one nitro cell for TSM, so they're going to be sitting quite pretty and can stop Fox A dead in his tracks. He has no real choice but to go in and go for frags. He's not going to be able to get that diffuser down on his own with 3 members of TSM hunting him down. And it's a crossfire established from inside of the lobby and in the bomb site where Merc is credited with the kill, giving TSM their second round in a row, and they're up 5-3.
Solid defense there for TSM. There was a discussion on Twitter. I can't remember who started it. I want to say it was like Easley or something like that. But there was a common thread that it was basically, what are some of the most annoying reinforcements for you when playing ranked that you commonly run across, or like there's mistakes made? And one of the big ones was that kitchen wall that you just saw the Jaeger shooting through. The reason being, in ranked, typically, even at high elo, we're talking like champion diamond, people will still reinforce panels on there instead of opening up foot level so that you can control it from the main lobby. And that's a great example right there of why you open that up instead of closing it off. Controlling main lobby as the defensive squad is actually fairly easy. You've got so many routes to retake into main lobby that it becomes daunting for the attack to execute into. So while maintaining control of the main lobby as the defenders, you also can exert pressure onto that kitchen doorway. And TSM just gave us a great example of how to do that. So if you're wondering how to improve your Coastline game, there's a quick and easy solution to the kitchen defense if it's been problematic for you.
It's always amazing to me when you watch Pro League as much as we do and kind of distance yourself from the general community. And then I've been playing ranked at a Plat 3, Plat 2 level, which is still supposedly the top 3 to top 5% of the people who play this game. And yet I am amazed that many of them still don't see why rotates are important or why certain walls shouldn't be. Oh, no. Howdy. What? Merc?
What?
Goodness gracious, how do you get away with that one with Fox A on the rappel? He takes out Chala before turning his sights to Merc, and he loses that. That is a puzzling interaction between these two players.
That was really weird. But would you like to finish your thought, Parker? Give you some. With
just that there was one time rotations. Where I was playing on Clubhouse. It was a Plat 2 lobby.
Mm-hmm.
And they fully reinforced the cache to garage wall or CCTV to garage wall. And I said, why did you do this? And they were like, so they can't shoot at us. And I'm like, there's like a huge rack of electronics. You keep one of the walls soft to rotate through so you can hold garage. And they're like, yeah, so then they can take garage and just run into the bomb site. And I'm like, it doesn't work that way. just like how vertical runs into Hall of Fame and then kills achieved. Doesn't work that way either.
Nice shot there for vertical. Oxygen will establish the man advantage. And yeah, somebody get Emzo into that lobby so he could tell him angles go both ways. That's the important thing to remember always when you're doing your setups, is you can play off it for your favor. They can play off it for their favor. It's all about who's got the better awareness. But Oxygen will be taking control of Aqua. We'll try and shift us onto their feet here. Slash has got the OGest of OG set up there with the very first invitational charm and the black ice on his 5.56. Well, he will be using that kit to go ahead and execute into Aqua with vertical. Merc is going to late reinforce Vase. That should have been done in the prep phase, but very ballsy of him to do it now as the action is about to get started. Bolo on the roam, going to be pushing up the white staircase, using his ability to get a flank off here. Laxing will get one on the entry, so Bolo's going to have to pull double duty. He'll get one. That's Slash, and Diffuser down as well. Laxing, a nice pivot from the VIP hallway to shut Bolo down, and he'll get the final kill as well. A beautiful round there from Laxing, exerting his force over the entire field, all from VIP hall.
Laxing covering both luggage, shutting down Bolo, and then Geo as well is strong. That could have been a dagger from TSM. As TSM, I think, got a little bit too loose with the way that they were playing on their defense, completely off-site. You had what? You had 4, at some point you had 3-4 of their defenders all roaming, trying to make individual hero plays. 2 of them were trying to come back to the bomb site, mind you, and got isolated. Geo on the bomb site was not in the best shape to hold that one off, but I mean, so it goes. You find that an anchor in a 1v4, a 1v3, a 2v4, oftentimes the anchors are at a pretty sizable disadvantage unless they have gadgets to work off of. And I mean, Mira's a 3 armor with a nitro cell, can do some damage, but the engagements that Mira is going to be involved with in that part of the hookah bomb site, which is over by the bar leading into the hallway, your C4s are not going to extend into VIP the way you want them to, unless somebody goes for a plant by billiards and you have to swing out where you could get shot down. You have to be wary of people behind you. It's a very hard spot to win in a clutch moment, especially when you have a vector in your hands, which is low DPS, high rate of fire, and low magazine. You're going to need to reload, at which point you are as good as dead if your opponents have half a brain. And the good news is that Oxygen has 5 brains. So they are perfectly capable of knowing when to push you once you've exhausted all of your ammo. Could have been match point for TSM, but they committed a number of errors, and they were playing a style that has worked on some rounds for them that time. Obviously does not. So what are they going to do? They're going to go back to where all of this started. The very first successful defense that they had on round number 7 occurred on the double bars, and it was a flawless round. So your theory is that they should be able to win here again. It might not be flawless, but they are obviously poised. And unless Oxygen can dissect what happened on that attack, in which it wasn't honestly a lot of missed gunfights, it was poor coordination on the entry and through the middle of the round, I will struggle to see OXG be able to come out ahead. It's possible, but there's a lot of ground they're going to have to make up.
Starting with the main lobby, Bolo is going to be the one to confront there. He's been on an absolute banger as an individual, picking up the frags in almost every gunfight, challenging the main lobby. That's ballsy, but he won't die to it at the very least. Does take a little bit of damage from laxing there, and the pressure is still applied. He is wasting that EE1D, though. He's managing to delay this push by main lobby, and that is worth something. Slash will be the first casualty, inflicted by Merc from above, it seems. Looks like he's looking through a hole that was made by the Habana and one that was made by himself. That's good control there by the blue bar, so no chance for the attack to push through the Habana holes, thanks to Merc's presence upstairs. TSM looking solid on their defense and on their roam as well, with Bolo still existing by the main lobby. This is a problem that Oxygen has failed to solve throughout the round. They're probably going to have to shift their focuses entirely to the site presence now, as they're running out of time to consider these roamers on their execution.
They have their eyes set very squarely on that diffuser, and, well, somebody's going to need to go get it. There you go. Fox A real close. Not bad timing for Merc, by the way. He could have picked off Fox A and stopped the diffuse from going down. Instead, he's going to get spotted out as Bio picks off Achieve. There goes the smoke. Fox A gets away after taking a lot of damage. Bio stopped from above. Chala and Geo find the board. Fox A down. That's it. It's match point now for TSM as they totally clean up. A little bit too much eagerness for OXG as they don't have site control. They get the diffuser down, but it's all for naught. And after that diffuser is disabled, the 4 remaining members of TSM will celebrate, as they are now 1 round away from stealing Oxygen's map away from them.
Sorry, I cannot get over the fact that Merc spent like 1:20 staring through that hole, and the second he goes for a reload, that's when Fox A walks through the breach. That is comedy in motion there, but TSM still win it out. And so I guess technically the result is all that matters, even if that one engagement didn't go the way of Merc. So match point here on map number 1. A brief reminder, this is Oxygen's map. So with Villa being map number 2, TSM's map pick, you have to question how long this is actually going to last. That Montaigne 6 pick is going to be an interesting one. Obviously, that is telling of a service entrance take, though Oxygen is not committed to that. They can go for just about any other normal take with Montaigne. It's just he's typically brought to force a plant by service entrance. So we'll see if that's what Oxygen commit to. You can see by their drones right now, that is clearly their plan, as their drones are all raid by the service entrance. So it's not necessarily going to be a rush plant or anything like that. We don't know that much, but we can say with decent certainty that Oxygen want to execute on service entrance with the Montaigne and go for a plant and all that yada yada. It was always fun to watch these executions happen.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and defuse
I like the flexibility that Coastline provides on attack. I mean, we've seen a lot of Hibana today because she's a very strong operator here on this map. Ace being banned out means that Hibana can be played because, frankly, you're not going to waste 2 bans on hard breachers on a map like Coastline because Jackal's going to be in play then. You're going to see Nomad in play. You're going to see Capitao in play. These are 3 operators that do tend to get banned out on this map because of how strong their gadgets work. And, well, here it goes. The push is going to come in from Service. Chala battling from behind. There goes the Montaigne. Verticals planting, and they're completely stopping this one in its tracks. Trying to kill the Ash, but Chala cannot connect. There he goes. He drops the Montaigne. Diffuser's down as well. TSM retaking, and Chala will immediately hop on the disable. He's spotted, and Slash is going to have to stop him. But you're getting real close. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Only 1 second left. You're not going to get there in time. The match is TSM's. Chala steals it from right underneath your nose. And that's it. OXG's map. Going to TSM 7-4.
All right, that was awkward to watch. So for those of you wondering what just happened, Oxygen went for a quick plant. They tried to get it down inside a service entrance. They tried to couple that with the distraction by the kitchen window and the main door. This was well timed on the distraction. However, Oxygen did not play their post plant very well. Most importantly, the Montaigne unshielding there, resulting in his death. That was crucial and unnecessary. It was just a series of mistakes there from Oxygen, but a very well timed retake from TSM to take the map.
Well, that's it for the very first map. I mean, there are going to be some interesting things to look at with the way that the operators played. I think a lot of us are your exact expression there, Michael. But before we get to the analysts, we have a commercial break for you. Don't touch your browser. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Map 1 Coastline 7-4 going to TSM beating OXG. And it was definitely an interesting one to watch, to say the least. Let's roll through some of the replays. Veli and Jesse.
It was interesting, but yet fun at the same time, right? We saw the Ninja Defuse coming in from Chala. We saw Laxi going off. Most importantly, TSM just acting wild. I really love seeing ops like Ayana, Bolo running around doing Bolo things, but also Merc. Merc had definitely a hot hand. I love seeing him, on Jaeger once the half switch.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this was, I think fun is probably the best word to describe this map. It was a blast. I'd say Bolo was probably my MVP of the map. Those couple of 3 kills he got, or 3Ks in the first round were really impressive. This hold from vertical up above was also really nice. You know, there was just some solid roam game coming around from both of these teams. Ultimately a little bit better from TSM, and I think that is the expected result coming out of Coastline. But you know what? I thought Auction put up a good fight. There were some wonky moments, to be
like
sure.
That.
Yeah, like that one.
No.
But overall, you know, I think they can be relatively happy with how they played on this map. I don't think they're going to be beating themselves up over this or anything.
I think, honestly, there was a big learning lesson coming into this map, especially on the side of Oxygen. We saw a lot of players on just different ops. We saw Slash on Zofia being aggressive. You saw him roaming with Legion. Stuff like that, seeing him really in the mix. It's good to see, especially for the fact that Hopes was telling me that, you know, Slash's aggression is starting to come out more, and that's why he's starting to take over.
Yeah, and gentlemen, we do have the statistics up on your screen right now, but Jesse, I want to talk about this map, Coastline. This is really not the strongest map for OXG, and TSM, this is one of their better ones, I guess you could say. You definitely thought TSM's experience on this map helped secure this one.
Yeah, I mean, I think particularly when you look at their defenses, I think it was clear that, and attack too, to be fair, it's clear that TSM have done this a few more times. You know, they're a little bit more experienced on this. Small things like Laxing messing up that vault, you know, all the way back in round number 1. To other things like that final round where they were pushing in, they tried to go for the Monty plants, and then they just didn't really know how to play that post plants. I mean, those are just the things that you kind of are scratching your head a little bit for Oxygen, particularly even in that one round when they were attacking onto the double bar, and Merc was upstairs, and Merc just was never droned out. That was a little bit questionable for me. But it is what it is. You know what, for Oxygen Esports, it's a map that I think they still have a lot of room to improve on. And I'd like to see them incorporate this map more into their map pool when they go into other matches, if they can play a little bit more on Coastline. You know, I think this could be a really strong map for them if they put in the hours of practice on it. But for now, it seems like TSM definitely had them beat here.
Yeah, and as both of you said, they're having a lot of fun. We definitely saw some new things. OXG with Laxing on top of cool vibes. I think, Bella, you already said Slash on Zoe, Geo on Lion, Chala on Yana. So lots of new stuff.
There's two things that really caught my eye too, right? I love seeing Foxy on Hard Breach, mostly for the fact that Oxygen, now I've said it before, like sometimes they're top heavy a lot. So putting one of their better players on Hard Breach with a great gun like Maverick, it allows Foxy to be more free, especially the fact that he has 2 frag grenades, and it puts players like Bio and Slash in these really aggressive roles where they have great utility and, you know, a lot of soft destruction on their end. But most importantly, Chala on Ayana. Now, Kix called it out. Chala, he was great with Ayana. The fact that he was using her decoy to run in, clear out bar, and also to be a decoy on Cool Vibes. Now, Bio got baited and eliminated because of the fact that I would say the second biggest play I've seen from Ayana so far is Dream using her in stage 1 to go in on Villa, scope out the area and get kills. This is by far the best play. Use Ayana as a decoy with 2 players right behind her. Obviously, Bio's going to shoot Ayana, and then the second player is going to get that kill. It was guaranteed, it was easy and fast. It seems like the flank watch role is sort of an entry role as well, so seeing him play with Ayana instead of Nomad in those instances, I mean, you see him on Consulate a lot on his own. I'm actually curious to see if they're going to mix her into the game plan a lot. I think those 2 frag grenades and everything else she brings can help him out a lot.
Well, definitely saw some new interesting things on map 1. Excited to see what we see on map 2. But gentlemen, our community poll result is in. So the question was, who will have the better rating today, Bolo or Laxing? And then I think Intero went off the rails and was like, who is cuter?
Really
who takes the better selfies? Like, so I don't even know what people were answering at this point. But Bolo got 76% and Laxing got 24%.
I would have voted for Laxing. If you've seen the way he cooks and his muscles, listen, he's a babe. I would have voted for him. You guys are slacking.
Oh, lordy. Okay, so that is our community poll result. But, gentlemen, map 2 Villa, what are we thinking? Veli, I don't even remember what you were saying. You were saying, like,
don't worry about it. Let's not unjinx
TSM.
it. Yes, let's not unjinx it. I'm going for TSM all the way. That's all that has to be said, okay?
Okay, Jesse?
Yeah, we're going to TSM's best map. I expect we'll close it out in 2.
I believe Oxygen played it like 6 times to have like 17% success here. So this might be a fast one, to be honest.
All right. Well, we shall see. Map 2 Villa. We're about to get right to it. So let's toss it over to our casters, Kix and Intero. Hello, gentlemen. Take it away.
Hello. Thank you so much. Michael, you know what I just got in the mail the other day? Did you guess a Predator Helios 700? Because I just received this the other day, and I got to tell you, it's a beast.
Good. I'm glad
it's
that
a beast.
That was what I was gonna guess. Definitely, 100% Parker. And yeah, I likewise I have the Triton 500. It's a fantastic laptop as well. Great specs. Slim design on the 500. Excellent laptop. Definitely worth checking out. How beastly is yours, Parker?
Oh, it's very beastly, Michael.
That's good.
It's roughly about 1 inch to 1.5 inches thick which is more thickness than I need. Great specs. Beautiful. I love it. Clean design. Helio 700. Can't recommend it enough. Actually, this thing is almost as powerful as my desktop, by the way. I'm not even kidding.
Nice.
This is a monster of a machine.
Nice.
Like, the specs on it blew me away when I first read it.
That's good. That's good. I think
and it is a little heavy. I will say it comes in a very thin, sleek package, but it's super powerful, and I do genuinely use it. So
I think mine is slightly less powerful, but it's like a whole inch thinner or something like that. I have that because I have the Triton 500. It's just a little bit thinner, but I'm not entirely sure. What I am sure of is that first map was a banger, and I expect this second map to be one as well. I like that both teams were having a little bit of fun with it. I like that Oxygen went for that really dangerous play, going for the plant by Serve's entrance. You have to keep in mind that both of these teams are, while they're playing this match right now, they're also simultaneously trying not to use anything too crazy as to give it away for the next match these teams have to play against each other in the much more meaningful environment of that mini major.
It's a hell of a desk that Merc has.
I didn't see it.
It's a standing desk.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. It was a he was making it go up and down.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Have you ever gamed on a standing desk before? Because I never have.
No. I mean, I've used standing desks at offices in the past that I've worked in, but never gamed on one. I feel like I would love one because I would love to stand every now and then. You know, what do they say that the experts say that the best posture is a posture you change every 20 minutes or something like that. So, you know, whether you moving around, changing your chair, like
it's a lot.
I don't know, but I think standing would be pretty cool. We'll see if it affects Merc's gameplay because he looked to be pretty wired in with that standing desk. And well, it's TSM's best map. Oxygen is going to have their hands full for all 3 maps. OXG will be starting on defense. This is something we've actually been seeing a lot of recently. Teams will pick defense for all 3 maps. The other team will start overtime on defense for all 3 maps. That's exactly the case here. If overtime is required, TSM will defend twice on every map. OXG will start on defense on every single map. We'll go through the map ban phase. The 2 attackers are Hibana and Nomad. They have been vanquished from the field of play. Time for the 2 defenders to join them.
Mozzie. Well, all right then. Mozzie as an operator is very powerful. Definitely, especially on Villa, there's a lot of cutoffs you can use his pests for. But I think the most important thing with Mozzie and the reason he's so in the meta right now is honestly just because they gave a 1.5 to his Roni. That's pretty much it. It makes him one of the most versatile operators on defense, and it gives you a lot of fragging potential. Well, Mai will be the last ban, so it's mostly all going to be on Jaeger when it comes to anti-throwable, anti-grenade, whatnot. It's definitely going to make clearing a lot easier. And the fact that Thatcher is still in play is also significant, though he will not necessarily always see play. Last second change there for Chala. He'll switch off the Yana to the Thatcher right as the transition comes in. We'll see if he 6-picks or what's going to happen there. No, in fact, it'll be achieved on the Buck. Okay. Achieved has not played as much Buck as of late because they removed his grenades. But he was, for a very long time, one of the premier Buck players in North America.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
It was nice to see the way that Buck was utilized in different ways than Sledge, but I think with the kit that we saw out of the Buck, especially having nades at the time, he kind of shoved Sledge down into the we don't really need him category. Now, obviously, Sledge's pick rate has surged since Buck got flashes instead of, or well, I guess technically he always had flashes, but
yeah,
it's flashes are now what people run because you use Buck for utility clearing. And I mean, I think there's a pretty compelling argument that you could make that Buck was a little overtuned and it forced Sledge out of competitiveness. Now, unfortunately, the changes to Buck have largely removed Buck from competitiveness, and Sledge has just completely taken his role. It has forced teams to play differently, though, because obviously Sledge cannot do anything below, with the exception of tossing a frag grenade up to the ceiling above him, whereas Buck can exert quite a lot of influence by being able to shoot you below. And it's changed up the way that teams play in terms of verticality. Now, the word vertical is going to come up a lot on Villa for a number of reasons, but also because vertical's in the matchup. And he was playing over by Study, unsupported as we see the roam from OXG happening. It's a kitchen defense, so vertical is about as far away as humanly possible from the bomb site. He goes for a run out and he's not going to catch anything and head back in. His position was given away. And if somebody's watching either of the staircases, he could get punished for this. It doesn't appear so, and he'll be able to get away.
Just trying to distract the attack and, well, mission accomplished for vertical. He'll run on back to site, or at least closer to it, for further distraction and delay. This is a kitchen defense for round one. Oxygen trying to surprise TSM, I guess. Well, not really. It's not that shocking, to be honest. Trying to get the edge, I suppose you could say. Right now, the attack is solely focused on clearing out the top floor. They want to get top floor so the buck can start opening up from above and apply some site pressure, move those anchors into uncomfortable positions. You guys and gals know the drill. Chief is going to be doing just that now, is he'll start opening above Slash. But as you can see, Oxygen is far off the site, and they're all going to be in retake positions rather than exposing themselves to the holes that Achieved is opening.
Villa is a matchup Villa is a map where the matchup is going to be a little bit slower paced unless teams take a very deliberate effort to execute quickly. It didn't work out so well when OXG was on attack, trying to take up ground quickly on Coastline, and ended up paying for it. We saw two very hasty diffusers planted the very final 2 rounds of the matchup, and they got punished for it both times. Here we have Bolo in the wild punishing vertical, and a run out from Slash will catch Merc. Poor timing from Merc, but Slash gets away with it. He's still stuck inside a bicycle, and if he tries to get out through Memorial or through the window, somebody could very easily watch. And there you have it. Chala was on Slash duty. He finds him and is successful. So up Chala will continue to push. Down goes Fox. A and TSM are sweeping through right now. Well, it's laxing in bio in a situation where with 30 seconds left, they'll have to stop the TSM tides from crashing against their shores. They start off by picking off Geo. He had the diffuser in hand, so it'll have to be juggled over to Chala, leaving Bolo and Achieve to cover as best as they can. No Nitro Cell, no anti-plant right now for anybody on OXG. Unless a Maestro Cam can tase you away, you're going to have to go for gunfights here. And there you have Laxing swinging away, doing damage, losing the fight to Chala. He attempts the plant. Bolo and Achieved will have to watch, and there you have it. Bolo, who started things off, will also finish things. Round number 1 goes to TSM.
Well, good execution there from TSM, but most of that comes down to the timing of the retake from Oxygen. As I said at the, I guess the start of the contact by site, Oxygen was set up in a retake position. They had 1 anchor at that time. You could see they opened up a lot of walls that you typically wouldn't see opened, especially by tarps or Memorial. So what happened? Well, Oxygen tried to retake their site before TSM was fully committed to the push. TSM waited, and as the retake came out from Oxygen, these defenders, they get mowed down in their rotations. Now, man advantage, firm control for TSM, and the laundry breach. Everything's going the way of the attack. You take that and roll it straight into a round win. I gotta say, well done to TSM for I guess a very patient assault. Oxygen, just a little bit too, I guess, fidgety on their retreat back into the site. Or not retreat, but rather retake back into the site. And the timing just ended up being against the defense. We'll see what Oxygen can change now that they've gone to a very different bomb site, Aviator Games. This is a more typical one, I guess you could say. It's really all of the bomb sites on Villa have proven themselves capable of being successfully defended. But we do see Aviator still quite a lot. More than Kitchen, I would venture.
Yeah, I mean, the one bomb site that's fallen out of favor that we talk about a lot is Trophy Statuary, and Kitchen has risen in prominence, which is basically the same bomb site just down below. Obviously not identical, but plays out similarly enough. And a lot of teams will still defend Trophy Statuary if they are actually defending the Aviator bomb site, or if they're defending Kitchen. They'll still play out of the location of that Trophy Statuary bomb site, even if the bombs themselves are not there. And it's because it's a very crucial part of the map to hold. Number 1, you can drop quickly and then patrol that bottom floor. You have access to the stairwells relatively quickly, including Astro Stairs if you need to retake. Astro Stairs does tend to be a bit of an afterthought for a lot of attackers when it comes to flank routes. It also allows you to control Master Bedroom, and you can get back very quickly to either 90 or towards Classical. Rather, Study. And Classical is where Slash is going to play. He's on main stairs, watching intently with a Melusi nearby. This is a common spot to play off of. It gives you a lot of control over what's below. All it takes is one explosive to finish off that Banshee. Bolo happens to have 2 of them at his disposal, but he needs to be wary of whether there's an ADS in play. There goes the Banshee, and there goes Foxay as well. And now Slash too, TSM. All the confidence in the world so far through these 2 rounds. There will be some return fire from Biologic from above, who chews through 80% of Bolo's HP, but can't secure the kill. That's a missed opportunity, so now it's Laxing's turn to watch that same avenue. He's in a position to do some more damage. If Bolo contests this, he could be in trouble. Vertical falls, so it leaves Laxing and Bio left on site alone. Bio will head up over towards Study to watch that doorway, as not a soul has been lost for TSM, and Laxing will have to find 5 of them as Bio bids adieu. There's Laxing to fight with Geo. He hits the deck, but a flawless round for TSM will be round number 2, and they are up to nothing.
Well, it's worth noting here that TSM is not doing anything unusual. They're not doing anything special even. They are executing very standard. A very simple take from Study and down below to top main. All the while on that take, Oxygen throwing bodies at the problem, as we so often see them do, and losing those fights, losing manpower advantage. TSM take full advantage of that, and flawless round, I guess. It's a surprising result, I guess, that it's so one-sided, but it's still impressive nonetheless. My key takeaway from all of this is, as it was with round 1, now again with round 2, the patience on TSM is just really impressive. I would expect most teams in situations that TSM keeps finding themselves in to, I guess, get a little bit more aggressive. Why can I not word? Aggressive? It's a good thing I'm not paid to do this. And, you know, try to force their advantage more than TSM actually does. But, no. TSM is, I think, casually strolling over the finish line, and it's working for them.
10 seconds left before insertion.
OXG have 2 kills through 2 rounds so far. I mean, I think that tells quite a bit of a story here. You can see this every day. TSM has 2 kills on every player.
Oh, wow. We can call that 2 team aces, can't we, Parker? We can call that 2 team aces, can't we, Parker? I know it probably wasn't like that.
I suppose you can. I mean, I don't think there was a team ace on either round officially.
But it'd be fun to say that.
But it would be fun to say that. And you know what, Michael? I will allow it. I'll allow it.
Good.
I'll permit it. Now, if you're watching this matchup, by the way, a matchup that doesn't really have any significance or impact outside of some money, and who goes in second and who goes in third, as these teams are going to face each other in the mini-major, regardless of what happens here, our next matchup actually has some pretty high stakes. We know that the Sonics are going to be in the mini-major quals. We know the same of SSG, and we know the same of Mirage. There's only 1 slot remaining, and it will go to the winner of the next matchup, which is DG versus E United. Whoever prevails in that match will be competing for an opportunity to go to the mini-major in just a couple weeks. There'll obviously be something on the line with that one, so make sure you stick around to watch it. E United has been on the upswing. DG put up quite a fight against the Sonics. I was very surprised, in fact, as I thought the Sonics were going to win that matchup with not quite as much trouble, so stick around for that one if you're a fan of either of these teams.
Yeah. Now, in this match here and now, it still seems like TSM has full control, but at least in this round, Bolo once again put too low HP, and this time he hasn't managed to get a kill before it. So Oxygen in a decent spot. You can see they're playing very passively. There is an attacker inside of Study, and Slash might not be aware of that. It's Merc, so in that position, he can definitely punish the Smoke, who's leaving himself exposed to Study, but the timing is bad, and Oxygen will win 2 fights. 1 for Slash, 1 for, I believe, Laxing. Bolo and Achieve go down, but at least top floor control, or top stairs control, is established for TSM. As they peek into books, Merc will get another as well. Even man count now, suddenly. TSM rally back into this round. Oxygen desperately trying to regain the advantage, but at this point, the control is lost. And with the attack still having 40 seconds to execute, they're not feeling too pressured.
Vertical will try to toy with Merc, who has been exceptional so far. He's been one of TSM's better players over the last couple games, and he's showing exactly why. His entry's been very strong. The Valkyrie will swing out, try to pressure Chala as Laxing is playing in front of that Goyo shield. There's no explosives remaining to take out the Goyo shield, barring an Ace throwing a Selma at it, but I don't think that's the intended location for the gadget. Hitting the gas barrel will be Laxing as he tries to fall away. The fire will consume Geo. Laxing credited with that kill. Bio doing as much damage as possible. There goes Chala and Merc in a 1v3. No time left. He's not going to move. Might as well save your stats. He'll finish with 1 death as nobody from OXG can find him in time. Oxygen's very first round will come in round number 3. They've still got time to turn this one around, but they can't be forfeiting many more rounds to their opponent in this first half.
Okay, so once again, TSM, a very standard execution. But as I'm sure many of you noticed, the largest difference in that round was that Oxygen played really passively, like crazily passive. They forced TSM to take the initiative in every single fight. And because of that passiveness, Oxygen actually won the first set of gunfights, established early man advantage, then TSM rally back, and it's impressive, but at that point, the momentum is lost for TSM, the key fraggers as well. Oxygen managed to lock out the round. A great job for them. But you know what's not lost? At least not yet? Your opportunity to pick up some of the R6 shares skins and support the Rainbow Six esports platform as a whole. You can find them very easily in the Siege shop in-game under the esports tab. And it's a great way to pay into this awesome esports scene that we all enjoy.
That was a good one.
Thank you, Parker.
I really do think we nailed the 2 transitions today so far. You know, I think we'll reflect on this broadcast as the pinnacle of our our pivots. So production only gets worse from here.
Yeah, we're still going downhill.
Yes.
I can't wait. Oh, we're gonna come up with we're gonna come up with some real bad ones in the future, I bet.
Oh, we got to brainstorm.
Yeah.
No, we just habitually get closer to the line until eventually we step over it, and then we get a very stern message being like, hey,
stop it.
Don't say things like that on the broadcast. You're like, I don't know what you're talking about. But, all right. Round number 4, as now we will pivot from the wonderful R6 share skins, which TSM has one of the nicest skins, in my opinion, which is the Zofia one.
I mean, you can't dispute it. They really do. It's one of the...
It's quite nice, yeah.
It really is.
And now we'll pivot from that to round number 4, which is...
We're going to get dizzy, Parker.
A bomb site that isn't really that unorthodox, even though it doesn't see a high rate of play. It's the library living room, for people who can't pronounce the first word, alternatively known as the library living room. So it's very interesting the way that teams decide to take this, because usually what they'll do with most defenses being hunkered down over Memorial or Kitchen and then playing above, teams are going to try to sweep through Kitchen and then take the 2 back paneled walls. They're leading into the living room portion. Merc, I don't know if he saw that Slash went for the jump out, and now Merc will be in the living room. So right where those 2 paneled walls are, though, there's a rotate through gallery, as it's referred to as. Heard people refer to that as vault as well, but it's not vault. Anyway.
There's already a vault. It's above that one. And yeah, gallery is more appropriate. Now, top floor control here for TSM. Despite the man disadvantage, they're going to be able to do some work with that. There is still a roamer upstairs. I believe that's vertical. He's playing through the vault holes. See, there's a different. It's yep.
Right.
And he's going to be able to control a bomb site from there. There's a lot of great long angles you can use from that position. Likewise, Slash C4 goes out to the wall that has been breached. Nothing gained from that, though. He will get Bolo as he peeks, and there's a flank coming out here. A third for Slash in the site, who finally gets shut down, but he allows for Foxay to pick up Chala, leaving Just Achieved upstairs. Alone against 4 with 30 seconds, it doesn't seem likely. Achieved will go for a drop to try anyway. Heard, and he lands the shot onto Bio. Flicks around and misses his shots onto Foxay, who will shut him down. Oxygen take round number 4.
So this is going to be a close one. Just as Coastline went, so goes Villa. TSM started off with 2 rounds, of which one was flawless, and then Oxygen answered back with 2 rounds of their own. Opening picks going in favor of OXG for both of them. Same here. TSM started this map off with 2 rounds in a row, one of which is flawless. OXG answers back with 2 rounds of their own, where they get the opening picks. So history seems to be repeating itself right now, and if history continues to repeat itself later into this map, well, then it'll be a 2-0 for TSM, as some of the analysts had predicted right before we headed into Villa. We'll see, though, as it's another kitchen dining room defense. This is where OXG started. And they dropped this bomb site, did not come back here until now. If they are successful, they won't be able to go back here yet again. At the tail end of this round, Aviator will open back up. It was a bomb site that OXG dropped the first time, made some swaps, and actually did very well on that 3rd round, which is what sparked this comeback, if you want to call it, from OXG. Nothing looks to be that weird for the way that OXG is going to be holding this bomb site. As we noted previously, with Trophy and Statuary being the location of the roams for OXG, though the bomb site itself is not up here, the bombs being down below it mean that if you want to hold that top floor control and force the attackers to commit a lot of time, drones, and gadgetry to flushing you out before they can try to pull off the objective, then they're going to need to wrestle that part of the map away from you. That's why OXG has so many forces upstairs on that 2nd floor.
That's Foxay in vertical, to be precise, but Slash is assisting from below, using his heartbeat sensor to call out TSM's positioning, try to gain an advantage for his roamers, as well as possibly C4 someone from below. That's always an option. Geo called out on the balcony there. Jaeger well aware. Vertical will rotate. Foxay trying to hold on to the bathroom. This is a very precarious hold, but he can work some magic with this. Stun's going in to establish there is no ADS, and well, that's not laxing, or that's not Foxay. It's laxing to pick up that kill, but still, I'm sure, an impressive one, even though we didn't get to see it. Vertical holding inside of Trophy. He'll have a long angle into Master. He's still very exposed there. You can see the attack is trying not to waste any explosive on the shield, but they're gonna need to if they really want to make the push by bathroom. Could be one of the Selmas from Geo. That is an option. Lots of information being relayed there by Chala. In the same fashion as Slash can relay with his cardiac sensor, except for onto gadgets. Vaults into the bath, or rather the closet, and Vertical and Foxay have been kind of corralled into Astro. This is very dangerous. Down goes Vertical and Foxay. TSM get the clear on the top floor and are not punished in the slightest. At least not just yet.
It was exceptionally well coordinated, with one sweeping through Trophy, one sweeping through Statuary, the other sweeping through Bathroom. You might be able to take one of them down, but you're definitely going to get traded off very quickly. Just as Laxing trades off Bolo, albeit a few seconds after the action had occurred, leaving us into a 3v3. The one thing is that on that interaction and that entry from TSM, they didn't lose a body in the process. They were able to punish both Vertical and Foxay without using too many gadgets, just a single drone, all while evading the pulse of Slash. That cardiac sensor should be calling for it, and there was obviously a restlessness from the 2 members of OXG, and that anxiety is what pushed them to take the engagement, knowing that they'd have to fight their way out. It was the smart call from OXG. They just lost their gunfights, and they got pinched in, well, one of the most efficient ways possible. So with 30 seconds remaining, TSM will have to go for the objective play, which will be in the hands of Geo, meaning that it'll be a 2v3 as Geo is immobilized for 7 seconds to get the diffuser down. This could be potentially tough, as there's a C4 in the hands of Bio. Not much else, though. So Bio's attention over towards bikes, where Chala seemed to be flirting with pressuring on. Bio could jump out if he wants to. Achieved will be first one in amidst the smoke. Geo going for the defuse. Have to see if Bio can toss out the nitro cell. He will. Gets punished by Achieved. The Buck is hunting for kills. Looking one way. There's the pulse. Damage being done. Achieved 2 kills, 3 kills. The kill feed is achieved. The round is TSM. The lead is TSM's. They're up 3-2.
Beautiful round there for Achieved, and well, the entry all in the hands of the Buck. Right time, right place, and Achieved does not miss those shots. That's a 4K for Achieved overall in the round. and a beauty as well. Now, that's why Achieved plays on Buck, by the way. I think we've seen some of the best performances from Achieved on Buck, on Villa in particular, and we're seeing one of them here. It's awesome to see, as it is so rare these days, given a Buck's scarcity as an operator after his nades were removed. Now, Oxygen had a chance at winning that round for sure. The time was starting to dwindle there for TSM, and despite those picks upstairs, Laxing was giving a real fight to TSM. Just as Bolo appears to be giving us rehost here. Sounds like a sound bug there for TSM, so the rehost will be called. The first one of this series. Yeah, there was a chance there for Oxygen. Laxing definitely put up a fight, but in the end, Achieved was the gunner to win it out.
Yeah, TSM, they were really fine through most of that round, and that was honestly, that was a textbook round for time management. You have to give them a lot of credit for that. Number one, they managed their time and entry successfully upstairs. Yes, they forfeited the very first pick of the round to Laxing, but then they were able to claw it back by the way that they attacked bomb site that would be trophy statuary that's above the actual bomb site of kitchen. So you go above, you hunt down the two players that are up there in both vertical and Foxay. The Goyo shields don't do significant damage. You walk away relatively intact, and you do so quite briskly. The moment that that was called, TSM goes back onto drones. They try to see if there's anybody else playing off the bomb site, because there are still 3 members of OXG that you need to find. They determined that there's at least 2 in the bomb site. We can get back down and begin to go for the execute, which is exactly what they do. They hunt down the location. They lose 1 player, puts it into a 3v3 with that time left. And they realize that they have to only 1 opportunity. They clear out Memorial. They see that Bio is playing in their solo. He's kind of trapped, and you've got Chala that can swing through bikes if needed. But Chala decides to double up with Achieved, where Achieved will look towards bikes. As the wall inside of Laundry gets opened up, smokes go out to confuse OXG, and the only person that's going to be able to call anything is going to be Slash on that cardiac sensor. It looked like he was trying to scout out the location of the TSM members, but the range in the cardiac sensor is only 9 meters, which means that Slash is going to be trying to determine where the diffuser is going down. All the while, he's going to be defenseless. So he puts the cardiac sensor away. Inside a kitchen, he swings over towards the main doorway of Laundry, and with Laundry wall being opened up, OXG seems to think that maybe the diffuser is being planted by the bomb chassis. Bio's the first one to fall to Achieved, and then the 2 members of OXG that are caught off site, one of which being Laxing, who was playing over by Astro Stairs in the hallway, the other of Slash, who was playing inside of Kitchen over by Pantry, while they have no choice but to try to retake. And at that point, it's a 3v2 as the diffuser's already gone down. Geo is off the plant, and there's 3 sites aimed at 2 ways back into the bomb site. Unless you manage to land your shots, which it looked like the Pulse almost did, there's no hope for OXG. And I gotta say, I was extremely impressed with how TSM were able to clear out that top floor and then immediately hit the bomb site. They managed the clock very strongly. They didn't waste too much utility, and they didn't waste their lives in the process.
Definitely was an impressive feat for TSM. And, you know, as much as that entry from Achieved was pretty solid, there was still a chance that it could have swayed back in my mind. Mostly comes down to the perfect timing for Achieved, the right place, right time, and the great awareness on the drones and from the holes that were opened up above prior in the round, because they knew where those defenders were going to come from, and they knew exactly what they were going to be dealing with. Now, we do have everybody in the lobby. We're just going to have to double-check the settings before we actually get things underway. We've got to be sure that there's no mistake when rehosting these lobbies. I know many of you older viewers who've been with us for a long time have seen instances where we rehost and everything's ready, and we go back in, and the settings are incorrect, and we have to do it all over again. So we got to be extra super duper careful. We seem to have everything correct, so we will get right back into this action. The score will pick up where it left off. TSM in the lead 3-2. The first half just about to end. The final defense for Oxygen, unless we get overtime. And it'll be Aviator Games, the site that is chosen by Oxygen for the last bastion. Of course, this is a fight to have that even round count transitioning to the second half, and if TSM is able to take this one, then it will likely be indicative of the final result.
Yeah, if TSM ends up coming away with a 4-2 lead on Villa in the first half on a map that they're obviously very well favored on, OXG not having the best record on entry and opening duels, which on attack is very critical. I think both of those things don't bode well for OXG's chances. I mean, I think that that first map was critical to determining what happens here, because if OXG wins their map, you assume TSM is going to win theirs, and then we have a very exciting clubhouse as our third map. But right now, even despite the scoreline, it doesn't seem that likely that we're going to need a third map, at least where we are between these two teams. That's just us theorizing. Obviously, we can eat our words and be proven wrong by the play that happens in the server. We'll wait and see. As the very final defense for OXG is going to be over on Aviator Games. So as I had said at the start of round number 5, when they went to Kitchen, OXG had Aviator opening back up for that 6th bomb site. They could have gone to Library or Statuary, or they couldn't have gone to Library Statuary, my apologies. They could have gone to Trophy Statuary. Library down below and Living Room was out of the equation. So Trophy and Statuary was open, but it has not been in the rotation so far for OXG. It is the one bomb site that has not been played. So despite the heavy emphasis on that part of the map for the players that are roaming, is not going to be a spot at which OXG wants to defend. TSM could have an opportunity to do that, but let's see. Let's get to TSM defending first.
Seems like it's all going to be more of the same here from TSM. They're not doing anything crazy. Your bog standard, study, top main execution. We've seen this time and time again for TSM. It's been hit, it's been miss. It's all going to come down to the gunfights over by top main. Which way those actually go will probably determine the round. But look at that. Vertical downed. Not actually by top main. He'll be nearer the site. Looks like he was trying to peek outside through the game's window. And he gets saved there by Biologic. But the damage is done. And he'll be on low HP for future engagements. TSM being very patient here on the top main execution. But they also have to consider their time. The execution must come out eventually, and sooner better than later. There it is. Merc takes down Slash as he enters into study. Bad timing for Slash to reposition. Of course, he had no way of knowing, but that's just sometimes the way the dice roll.
Kind of surprised he wouldn't have expected anybody over by study. That's a heavily contested part of the map, and the door had been broken sometime sooner. Fox A Nitro Cell to take out the Goyo shield and open up sites beneath him as well, but it'll also claim an ADS. So that was a lot of needless destruction caused from that single Nitro Cell when a bullet would have sufficed. Regardless, it's still a little bit of the map that Fox A has been able to reclaim to a certain extent, as down below, Achieved is going fishing through these holes that he has created above him. He's going to see the Malusi, but just narrowly avoid her for about a minute and continue to break away, and he's going to find Bio in the process. Bio, of course, needing to move in that spot. Both he and Fox A are dedicated to playing down below. And there you have it. Achieved is clobbered by Fox A. The wall and the safety just to the side of the bar inside of Games has been taken out by the Selma. Fox A could swing out, and he looks to be doing that. He'll engage with Bolo. That's a rare fight that people win, and no, Bolo wins it all the same. 15 seconds remaining, 90 control still held for OXG. Bolo losing the fight to Vertical, Laxing winning his against Chala. Bio now down, and it's a 2v2. The clock working very much in favor of OXG. Geo will have to go for the plant, but where are his teammates? Down goes Vertical, and there's Merc to swing. He'll clean up onto Laxing. The final defense for OXG breaks in favor of TSM, and they'll take the first half 4-2.
What a big round for TSM. I love the way they played that. The clock was running out, and you saw Geo starting to plant, but he thought better of it. He knew he had to take the engagement with the player at 90, because look at this. Merc is deep inside of Games. Merc is not going to be able to stop that 90 push. So it's either Geo wins that fight, or TSM loses the round. So Geo, with this in his mind, makes the quick decision to get off of his plant and force the engagement with the player at 90, landing the headshot, winning the fight, and the round by extension. To add insults to Oxygen's injury, Merc also wins his one over by Games, and that means Geo doesn't have to pull any extra weight by planting the diffuser. Very well played there for TSM as a whole. The execution, while it was rushed because of the limited time, everything was executed flawlessly for TSM. And yeah, there were some lost engagements, but no serious mistakes made by the attack. Oxygen, likewise, though, had a very good defense overall. While they did lose it, I still have to commend their performance in that round. It came close to victory. In the end, they just couldn't manage it in those final two gunfights. So, 4-2 half for TSM on attack of Villa. This is less daunting for Oxygen than it would have been in times past. Oxygen losing the defensive half. It is still, or rather, Villa is still, I guess, fairly defender. Well, it's not defender-sided, actually. It's 51% attacker-sided. It's a 49 defensive win rate in Villa overall. And after this match, if the record continues, if we get a 4-2 half from Oxygen, for example, then that will get even worse for Villa. The very played map, but it's starting to stray towards attacker-sided, ever so slightly.
Stats back that up, yeah?
Yeah, 49% defensive win rate.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty razor's edge. There was a period of time where...
It's very close.
I think it was back when we had the start of the six, or the start of the, what was it, the 6-map pool?
Yeah.
What we found was that every single map was defender-sided except for one that was at 49-51. So about as close as you can get. Merc engaging on defense, he get traded off right away from Vertical, but he takes out Biologic in the process. Bio on Zofia, that is a lot of soft destruction that is gone. Good news for Oxygen is they have quite a lot to spare. Sledge, Ash, and even Jackal with that secondary shotgun in a pinch can do some work to tear up floors, to tear up walls, etc. So the end isn't near for OXG just because they lost the Zofia, but obviously that's a pretty damning operator to be the first one to go out. Additionally, TSM with Merc, well, he's probably the least in terms of utility because he's purely in a fragging sense. And I'd say that the goal for Merc has been met.
Yeah, he's done his job, and even though Vertical did get that refrag, I mean, the time wasn't wasted, but the 1-for-1 going the way of TSM, I think overall that gives a little bit more advantage to the defense. I think there's always a slight edge with even man count if it's less than 5v5 to the defense, and I think it comes down to fatigue. And also the time that each gunfight commands. What a shot from Achieved! Foxay had the edge in that one, and he let it slip out. Geo will also win his fight versus Laxing, but all the while, Oxygen is keeping up. Slash will take one down. Did get him to half HP, but this is still very winnable for the attack. Great timing there for Slash on the peak, and it looked like a C4 actually covered Slash as he went through the rotation. TSM now even man count, but once again, with 30 seconds left, this should favor the defense.
All they need to do is hang on, but they are starved of that secondary utility. But the one thing Bolo has in his hands is essentially wall hacks. The ability to see the cardiac pulses, whatever you want to call it, of your attackers. And those heartbeats are going to get ever closer over towards Memorial as Vertical as well as Slash will go to charge on in. Flashbangs going out, smokes as well for Slash as he rushes in. And they're going to have to take gunfights right now. Great play from Vertical. He should be able to get them both, and he will do just that. Bolo shutting down Slash, but OXG managed to go against the grain and take out the final two members of TSM to claim their first round on attack.
Great round there from Vertical. He not only got the refrag at top main early in the round, but managed to clutch up on those final engagements late in the round. You love to see players who can take it all the way from the beginning to the end and get the win. So, many accolades there to Vertical. TSM as a whole played that round, I'd say, what's the word? It's structured is an appropriate word, but I want to say standard? They knew that they had the advantage in the man count, and with the way that the gunfights fell, TSM was aware that they could take that and turn it into a round win by simply waiting out the attack. But there's sometimes these rounds that play out almost too passively for the defense because of the advantage there that they are aware they wield. And it can often force the defenders to be tamer than their natural selves. And that's how I would describe the defense there for TSM. Tamer than the natural state of TSM's hold. They were trying to win it on time. They could have certainly, but that risk leaves opportunity for Oxygen to take the initiative and just win on those fights, which is exactly what Vertical did. So, well played to Vertical reading the room and taking it. TSM, you could say they need to be more assertive, but it's so abstract, it's really hard to put a finger on.
A bomb has been located.
Stack up on the stairs, pretty common stuff for TSM now as we're just into the beginning of the action phase here on round number 8. Oxygen can tie this one up with a successful take onto the Aviator bomb site. Or games, I suppose. Aviator Games, of course, being the official title. Late setup from TSM, as I think they're still trying to determine where OXG is going to come from, and OXG's focus is on study, so the south side of the building, rather than taking from Master, Trophy, Statuary, and moving over, and then taking 90 and onwards. So TSM's entire focus will be on study. The likely person from TSM to get pushed back first will be Chala. Merc will likely die on the stairs unless he can somehow get away. He'll probably have to swing his way out of that position. And, well, Chala's at least there to help him to a certain extent. And there we go. Burning the ADS as Merc is playing behind this angle as he jiggle peeks around it as best as he can. ADS has now eaten the Zofia launchers. Both explosives. That is pretty bad utility management from Bio to not have cleared that out beforehand. It also means that the shield that Merc is playing behind is going to be relatively safe. You'll have to use one of the frag grenades from Foxay to take care of it, or a Selma from Slash. There's the grenade in hand for Foxay. He gets swung on, a double kill for TSM. The grenade, in typical martyrdom fashion, will eliminate Merc, but TSM still with a lead of 2.
See, we were talking about being more aggressive earlier, and I guess Merc must have heard that because he just took the fight. While Oxygen's trying to play the utility game, Merc saw the opportunity and seized upon it. Now, TSM has the man lead where it would have been a 5v4. It is a 4v3. Well read there by Merc. Hard destruction going towards games, though. TSM going to need to start to set their sights on these breaches. Chala has 2 to deal with, and that's not going to be easy for him. Gas canister going towards books, and that'll delay for a decent chunk of time. There's only 1 gas canister left in the pocket for Chala, and he'll have to pick between one of these 2 breaches. And it's not even going to delay for the majority of the round. He's still got 40 seconds for the attack to continue to open holes. Chala is really stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's forced to win his engagement on the west side breach, and he has no chance of turning his barrels the other direction. He'll lose the fight to Vertical, who rushes in, but it costs Vertical his life. Engagement will ensue. It leaves both teams an even man count. Geo, though, in vault, has got good positioning. He can do some damage from here. Bolo in the hallway will be shut down, but Geo will lose the fight with Laxing, letting Oxygen take the round.
So good stuff from OXG on their entry. And yeah, we are very much looking at an attacker-sided Villa so far, as it's 6 rounds in favor of the attackers, just a 2 for the defense. And there have been a number of rounds where it certainly looked like the defense were going to hold off. In fact, both rounds 7 and 8 so far seemed like, until the very last moment of the round, TSM were in the driver's seat. On that kitchen defense down below, it seemed like they would have enough to be able to stop it, especially since a 2v2 with time left on the clock and diffuser in hand means that it essentially becomes a 1v2, as your diffuser planter is unable to do anything for 7 seconds. And the coverage from OXG has been excellent so far. The way they were able to control that part of games, the way they were able to control Memorial and then turn that into a dining room take as well on the previous round, were both pretty much flawless in the final 10 seconds of the round on both accounts. Breaking in favor of OXG so strongly is going to be a significant confidence boost as well. Teams have obviously had issues working in tandem with one another, especially on the entry. We saw it on Coastline, and now we saw it to a certain extent on Villa, but for OXG on their 2 attacks, they have been much tighter. And I don't know if that's just maybe they needed some time to warm up. I'm not entirely sure. But both opening picks went to TSM so far, and yet those stumbles for OXG haven't mattered. They were able to either trade it off immediately or swing the round back from a 4v5 deficit.
Yeah, I'm really impressed by Oxygen's tenacity. You know, you see moments like the one that Merc brought out there, and yet Oxygen still wins it, as you said. That's something, right? That's something impressive. So we'll see what Oxygen can muster now that they are attacking from Master side onto, once again, an Aviator defense. Bolo will be roaming over here, side of Trophy. Achieved is there to support from the Astro stairs. We'll see how much they can do together. Droning just beginning for Oxygen. We'll spot Bolo's little setup and call it out. It'll be something that Bolo will need to confront shortly. Swift taken from Vertical. He knows that Master is fully clear, but he's still got his gun up just to be careful. Wary of any potential traps that TSM may have laid in his path. One Selma being used over on the other side of the building from the site itself.
A bomb has been
That's good utility burn, if nothing else, from Bolo. And as Bolo hears the Ash charge, he'll be like, yep, nope, I'm out of there. Job done. Not necessarily time wasted, but at the very least, tons of utility wasted.
Merc is playing with two ADSs, watching Study as OXG. Instead of attacking through Study, you're going to attack through the opposite side of the map. This was something that was touched upon in the previous round, where we had speculated as to where OXG would come from. And you can very much take Trophy or Statuary after you get Master under control, and that's the focus for OXG right now. If TSM reads into this, their focus will turn towards the doors of Vault and over towards the top of Red Stairs, which is what appears to be the play right now, as Chal is going to watch that angle through a tiny portion of the wall that's been opened up. Merc can hang on to his spot where he is at the top of main stairs, because if need be, he can head through Classical Hall, and he'll also have a line of sight all the way towards 90. And even though he's only presumably got the holographic on that gun, Merc is very much capable of hitting long-range shots, so it wouldn't put them at that much of a deficit.
Walls getting opened up into the gun vault. Merc is trying to shift his focus here from top main control, which is not being pressured, to 90 control, which is well in hand for Oxygen. Just making these attackers think twice about whether or not they can peek this west hallway. As the attack gets set up for the execution to the site, there's nothing going really either team's way, as both have been relatively passive on the angle play. And here comes the rumble, as Oxygen starts to pressure into Aviator.
They're doing so at the top of landing, with Slash being the first one to head in. Chala trying to do as much as he can. He's got one toxic canister left, but Slash will still win that one out by punishing Geo. First opening pick for OXG on attack. It comes at a great time. 30 seconds remaining, and Slash with that kill will now need to get the diffuser down. Nobody's going to eat out any of that smoke. Slash destroyed from the back as there's a flank, but it's caught by Vertical. Unfortunately, this little move right here and Laxing joining the fun means that OXG are going to be a little bit starved for time. So Chala swings out. Now he's got a shotgun in hand. They're going to line up. He turns, but he gets caught in a cross by Bio. The return to the bomb site will now need to happen from TSM. Bolo with 2 kills. Diffuser going down. Nitro Cell eaten by Bio, and he's inside a Study. Diffuser goes down successfully. Bolo taken out. It's Merc in a 1v2 post-plant. He's going to have to find the 2 members, and this is where things are going to get real challenging. He goes for the disable. There's going to be pressure from inside a Study. Does he hear it? He's going to get shot away. Doesn't know it. OXG takes the lead, their first lead of this game, and they have 3 rounds in a row to their name.
Beautiful execution there from OXG. And remember when we talked about how maps that typically don't matter that much, and teams can come in to be jovial and fun about it. Remember when we said that those can sometimes get really serious the longer they go on?
Oh, it's serious.
It's getting serious. As you can see by the play being displayed by both of these teams, they're starting to get a little bit more invested into what's actually happening, into that round outcome. A lot of snappy gunplay, a lot of well-refined control being established by the attack. So let's talk about that. Let's dissect it from Oxygen there. Yes, they used a lot of their utility on the master side of the building, but they very swiftly, as I mentioned at the time, and I'll reaffirm now, they very swiftly cleared out the roamers on the north side of the building. That was Bolo, who got forced back to site. So utility used, yes, but the time wasn't wasted that much. And because Oxygen was allowed the control all the way up to landing, they were able to then start to shift some of their weight to Study. Now, this was key in the outcome of the round. The presence in Study for Oxygen won them the round hands down, because it gave an ever-crucial crossfire in the Aviator bomb site. I'm sure most of you noticed the many times that TSM tried to force control of Aviator by simply rushing up close and taking the gunfights with the attackers who were positioned on landing. But that was halted time and time again by that Study presence. So, because of that little extra bit of time, 20, 30 seconds that wasn't wasted on the master side of the building, Study control was allowed before the attack, and the round ultimately was won off of that. What a run out from Achieves. He'll take down the sole hard destructor, Slash, and I bet you Slash is thinking, what is he doing?
TSM have really lost the plot so far with these 3 rounds from OXG, so anything to get them back in the game is going to be welcomed with open arms here, as there have only been 2 bomb sites so far that have been defended by TSM, as this is a second crack at Kitchen. The 2 times on Aviator did not work out in their favor, and now they're hoping to turn the tide and tie this one back up, if not match point for OXG with 2 rounds remaining, and a good spot for OXG to be in, given what we know of right now, with the attackers doing much better on a map like Villa. So Well, there's still a minute left, other than Slash dying, and I mean, that's your only hard breacher. That's pretty good, if you think about it. There's your opening pick that you needed, and it's on a very important operator. Bio had died earlier on in the previous round, and we talked about how Zof could be quite influential. I mean, Ace is even more so.
Yeah, Ace is right now hailed as many as being the #1 hard breacher in the game, and he's seeing a nerf in the near future, at least the one that is presented on the test server, that has his Selmas with only 2 charges instead of 3 per set. So he's still got 3 Selmas, but they only extend 2 times. So it's 2 little rolly things instead of 3. I think it'll place him well between Habana and Thermite in terms of hard destruction prowess, but he's still probably going to be a really popular operator. We'll see if Vertical checks this corner to his left, where Achieved is sitting in wait. I don't think he's going to expect this. This is a really odd play from Achieved, and okay, he doesn't even get an opportunity to check the corner, as he'll be killed from, I guess, above. I don't know who got him, but it was Merc. Oh, sorry, I don't know where from, but it was Merc to get the kill. Chala also gets Biologic. Foxay and Laxing now in a 2v4 as Laxing picks up Achieved in the hallway. So that position is red by Oxygen, just by Laxing, not Vertical.
These two working together were successful against Dark Zero. If they can translate the same to TSM, then this round will go in their team's favor. If not, it certainly seems like a tie matchup. 20 seconds left, so not a lot of time and more ground to cover than they'd ever had when they were attacking on Cafe against DZ. Laxing and Foxay now at arm's reach. So they'll have to head into Kitchen. Laxing takes some damage in the process. There goes Bolo. So Laxing is still in. Foxay finds Merc. Laxing gets dropped. It's all of a sudden a 1v1. Geo versus none other than Fox. And they'll have to find each other with 1 second left on the clock. Fox is going to get slowed down. He won't get it. Time goes in favor of Geo. That Malusi Banshee ends up saving Geo as he plays peekaboo inside of Laundry. And we've got a tie game yet again.
I know a lot of people in chat right now are probably having the discussion of whether or not Fox would have been able to make it in time given the Malusi gadget, or if the Malusi gadget were not there. I don't know. That was real close, Parker. That was it. Oh boy. It definitely could have happened. Foxay might have made it had the Malusi not existed. But the next question is, would he have won the gunfight? Because that is definitely a disadvantageous gunfight to take. Even though you can predict somewhat where the Goyo is going to be, you are at the disadvantage taking that one, and odds are your Goyo is going to win the fight. So, a real valiant effort there from Oxygen. From Foxay and Laxing in particular. You noted how that was probably the closest we've ever seen those two players in a clutch situation. 15 seconds left. They have to hit the site. There's almost no chance. And yet, they bring it to a 1v1. That really is something. And with 5 more seconds, the result might be called into question. But those seconds weren't there. And that was thanks to TSM's great roam and delay, as well as their early gunfights won previously in the round. I gotta say, though, the fact that that 4v2 came to a 1v1, that is scary if I'm TSM. That does say Oxygen is much more in this than it might seem.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they were able to win this one out. It definitely seems like the tide has turned and is very much in favor of OXG, but it could just be that because they're working well with the map, being that it's on attack. And we talked about how the attackers have been so good. That was only the 3rd successful defense through 10 rounds. Not exactly good numbers. And Merc being hunted down from above, he manages to get away, wasting 40 seconds. As OXG tries to enter against him and can't get him in time. Given the way that Merc has been playing, wasting time will be the name of the game for the Vigil, who's now over by Kitchen, and he'll head down towards the basement, a seldom used part of the map outside of flank routes. And flank is exactly what Merc will try to do, as Oxygen have gotten that control of that 2nd floor. Ooh, this is going to be a library living room defense. So the 2nd floor over by Trophy Statuary, not as integral as you would think. We talked about how you want to take those 2 panels as an attacker over by the kitchen doorway, and well, I assume that's going to be the focus for OXG.
That's going to be the first casualty here, technically, as Merc goes down to Foxay, bringing us to an even man count. For those of you unaware, we are too deep into the action phase for anything to be changed, and the game will have to be played, or the round, rather, will have to be played out. See if Slash can make it back into the lobby before we have to rehost, but that's not going to matter. If we get to that point, we will, of course, once we, once the admins call all that stuff. ADS shot out there, and that's going to allow Foxay to throw a nade down, but there's nobody playing underneath him, so no damage done. Geo has the information, and he lands the shots. 2 for Geo before he's finally shut down by Vertical, who has been overall one of the refrag kings of this lobby. Slash has made its way back into the lobby, so well done to Slash. We don't have to do that rehost, at least not yet. But TSM has the man advantage now. And in 5-5, this round means a whole heck of a lot. Whoever wins it goes on to that coveted match point position where they can relax just ever so slightly. TSM seems likely to take it, but the backpack gives away the Maestro, and Vertical will land the shots onto Bolo through the floor. With 30 seconds left in a 2v2, this could go either way.
Another position where TSM should be able to anchor down this bomb site, but it didn't work in round 7. It didn't work in round 8. It did work in round 10 just by the hair on their chinny chin. As there goes a Nitro cell, but Vertical's able to evade it. He's going to have to take this gunfight as Achieved is playing around at the barbed wire. Gives away the position, and he gets fed right to the T5. Bio trying to take control of the wall. He's next in line. He finds the Malusi. He gets both! How does he spray them down? What a shot! OXG is obviously very startled with this one, and somehow, miraculously, OXG takes the round.
The transfer from Biologic. What an absolute gunner. TSM presenting the targets and Biologic accepting it. The man's been getting a lot of flack over the last few matches, and I think it can now be put to rest as he single-handedly saves the outcome of that round thanks to blunders by TSM. Oh, well, that surely was something there, Parker, wasn't it?
I think Chala was inside of the bathroom, and he just sprayed against the wall after Foxay and managed to kill Chala through the wall. That's what I think happened. I mean, we need to see an instant replay slowed down. Because I don't think Chala was in that position. I am very confused. And with that, OXG has now almost certainly guaranteed us Clubhouse. The problem for TSM here is that on a very attacker-sided map, if TSM ends up winning this round, they'll then have to defend twice again. That is a daunting prospect, given what we've seen out of the defense so far.
Yeah, it certainly would be. If we come to that point, TSM, I gotta say, on defense, they have been letting it slip by a little bit too much. They have been. They should be winning a lot of these rounds. That last round definitely should have been a TSM round. There's too much of an argument against TSM's particular chosen style of play. They definitely didn't need to take either of those fights. With the limited time that Oxygen had available, with that Biologic had available, there was every opportunity to just wait. So really unfortunate some of the positioning we're seeing from TSM, some of the play. I think that they know it at this point. I would hope that they're going to start correcting it. As I'm sure it's pretty evident to everyone now that this match has become a lot more serious than everyone thought it would be going in. And Oxygen really wants it. They're out for blood.
Yeah, what was pretty much a, well, not a super serious game to start off with on Coastline has very much changed in the opposite direction now, and there goes none other than Chala as OXG just annihilates him. A refrag from Merc, but Slash is in on the fun as well. 1 minute off the clock and already 3 people dead inside of the lobby. Make that 4 as now Bolo peeks out. And Clubhouse is almost a certainty between these two teams. OXG stunning TSM on that previous round, Bio in particular. And it's now set them up for a much more confident set of play here on this final round. Geo shooting into a body, but he's going to get punished by the ace. It's all on Achieved's shoulders. Out goes a Nitro cell. He misses 1, sees the ace lined up. He picks up 2, but he'll need to reload. There's somebody below and another to his right. Being picked away! Achieve takes out Laxing, and it's him versus Foxay in a 1v1. Achieve sustains a lot of damage on that nade through the floor. He's also got the diffuser as well. If he has that information at his disposal, this could be a massive challenge for Foxay. Achieved will need the clutch of his life, as it's him versus the sledge and a tiny bit of HP for Achieved versus a fully healed Foxay. They're going in opposites now. Achieved is just trying to waste time, playing around as many structures as he can to try and keep Sledge from doing anything. Firing against the wall. Very tense moment right now. Achieved lighting him up. Foxay knows how close this one is going to be. The match on the line. Achieved still firing away. He's got plenty of bullets. Up he goes, just narrowly missing his shots onto Foxay. He's feeling it right now. Foxay will just stand pat for the time being. Maybe try to draw out Achieved. As he shoots through the wall, if he gets lucky on this, it might be enough to drop Achieved, who will head through the vault, and he might see the barrel of the L85. This is a prolonged battle. There goes the Goyo shield. He gets it! Good God, Achieved! We are going to overtime. What a clutch for him! 3 more rounds at least, maybe 2 more rounds. Who knows? Villa's not done yet.
The game sense on Achieved. His awareness of what fight must be taken at what moment. Impeccable is the only word to use to describe that. Foxay, a valiant effort, but you can't fault the man for losing that one. You said it yourself, Parker. Achieved was on one. The man shutting down Oxygen single-handedly. Not almost, but absolutely single-handedly. Overtime on what has been one of the most intense maps of this stage. What an interesting one we have on Villa here. That round, just, I think, absolutely Oxygen's. I think we can say that. That's pretty safe, right?
I cannot believe that Achieved clutched that. Yeah. I honestly, I cannot believe that.
And neither can Foxay. I think the whole lobby is flabbergasted, as I would assume are most of the viewers, except for the...
we just had 2 unbelievable rounds back to back.
Yep.
2 unbelievable rounds in a row. What the hell is that?
It's been some good stuff here. And I'm glad we got the opportunity to see these teams go head to head in this kind of an environment. You know, the interesting thing about it, we gotta have to ask the question why. Why is this happening in this kind of a match of all? And I think what it comes down to is the lack of pressure that these teams must feel. Yeah, certainly, they are motivated. You can tell by the way they're playing. They clearly, both squads, want this dub more than you might expect. But the pressure must be lighter than usual because the way that everyone's playing, it's almost as if they aren't feeling the weight on their shoulders. As if Achieved is able to do everything he thinks is necessary and he's never second-guessing himself. And it's beautiful to watch because we're seeing it across the lobby.
I mean, it's on now, just for bragging rights. Biologic swings and wins the round for his team. Achieved does the same thing now. It's going to be egos. It's going to be hubris. We had talked before about how this match had tightened up, but now it's personal. So how much are they going to be able to get out of it? We'll see. TSM back on defense, as we noted. 1 minute off of that very first clock, and Merc is playing upstairs on his usual old self on Vigil, playing a bullet hole next to a reinforcement. He gets droned out here from Biologic. He could possibly get caught upon. He has to worry about getting pressured from bathroom. Sherdley hears the sound of the window getting smashed by the sledge, and he'll take the drone down with him. Bio is now in on it. He's been pretty good through those last couple rounds. Merc is still on this panel, waiting to see if somebody's going to come after him, but he needs to watch multiple angles on his own. Merc is wasting a ton of time, and he'll drop off as Foxay finds Geo, maybe not the target that OXG was looking for, but that's a huge opening pick. So they've been able to take out the Goyo. That's a nitro cell potentially as well. That's removed. Still 3 explosives in the hands of Achieved, Bolo, and Chal. It's just under half the round to go.
Top floor control established for Oxygen. There is a pulse in play here, so the attack needs to be careful where they step. The soft floor is very dangerous, almost lava-like. C4 number 1, I believe, there will be pre-placed on the ceiling. That's by Chala. Bolo's going to call that out. He's got the heartbeat sensor right underneath it. It's detonated, but it's placed incorrectly in the wrong room, in fact. Foxay is not that big, and he'll go ahead and persist inside of bathroom. A double retake into the red hallway. This is dangerous for Achieved, but they want to regain the man advantage. They'll force their way up the Astro stairs in a moment, just a moment, probably. You can see Biologic hears the footprints underneath him. With only 30 seconds in a 5v4, this is going to be absolute chaos when it comes to the actual execution. Foxay gets kill number 2. The push-up Astro is poorly timed by Achieve, and it looks like Oxygen is going for a full sweep. It's a flawless round in the end. all gunfights going the way of Oxygen, and we are one away from map number 3.
Well, that's a statement to answer a statement to answer a statement from these teams, as a flawless round has not happened since round number 2, and you've got 2 extraordinary clutches with an utterly dominant push from OXG and TSM seemingly not realizing OXG's positioning whatsoever. That's the unfortunate falter for the TSM fans, but OXG will now need to go on to the most challenging of the 2 sides, defense, to try to lock this one out. If not, we might have all 15 rounds between these teams, which would be very fitting for this map.
It would indeed. I think I want a map number 3. The way that Villa's been playing, I want a map number 3. Coastline was kind of an afterthought. It really wasn't instilling a lot of like, oh wow, cool. But this has been some really intense action, and I hope we can see it persist, just for our sake. Of course, TSM doesn't want that. They're looking to lock this out, but now they have to win 2 in a row to get there. The first step is winning an attack onto Living Room Library, which is not an easy feat. In fact, statistically, this is one of the better sites out there. Not the best, with a 53% success rate for the defense, but certainly better than sites like Trophy's Statuary, which has a terrible win percentage of 32 for the defense. It's actually what's been dragging down the overall defensive win rate for Villa overall. So that's part of why it's not getting played anymore. Oxygen will be roaming above to try and hold this site, and that is par for the course. Standard fare. It will be a lot of time wasted when the attack attempts to clear these roamers upstairs, and possibly even some casualties inflicted by Oxygen. We'll see when the actual take plays out.
All right, well, I also would like a third map now, which means that now that I've said that, it's probably not going to happen. Sorry, OXG fans.
Follow the script, TSM.
Yes, I want to see Clubhouse, and I want to see how this transfers over, because obviously Coastline is a very punch-heavy map, and now you've got Villa, where, well, you're just simply looking at a much more strategic map that's getting played kind of like a free-for-all, and right now OXG seems to be the team that's capitalizing off of it the most, even though they only have a 1-round advantage. So, Clubhouse obviously will be far different. It will be just as strategic as Villa, maybe a bit more routine, though there is roaming potential we've seen, especially out of this region, VNA. So, let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's still plenty of time left, and TSM could find themselves with an early stumble as Merc will enter through study and take a lot of damage in the process.
You can see that Vertical has been spotted behind the model there. He'll fall back as a result to landing. Just trying to stay alive as long as he can and delay as much of this time as possible. C4 used there on the 90 repel, but it does nothing. Biologic now. Utility-less. He will now be just a gun and a shot that could be landed. Damage done here for both teams. Laxing low as well as Merc. The study take is not working out so poorly for the attack, but because of these mute jammers stopping the Selmas from detonating, it's going quite slow. Luckily, Thatcher is not banned, and Biologic is about to be forced out of his position, whether he knows it or not. There's the rotate over to the study door. Dangerous, but he's got a shotgun. This is the best kit he could have to hold this doorway. Timing is all that's really going to matter. Shotgun goes out, shots landing, Geo low on HP, but so is Bio. Slightly more, but both of these could die quite easily. Foxay is going to be the one to get the kill, though, and another as he cleans up Chala and achieved. The back and forth ensues as Geo finally picks up a kill on the top floor, but it looks like it's all but over here. Oxygen with a significant man advantage, and they'll force it out. Pushing through the breach is Laxing. He picks up one before the last. Bolo now has to do it all with only 35 seconds. He doesn't even know where his opponent is. Shot's not landed there on the Valkyrie. Pistol out there. Deagle does a lot of damage, but not enough to one-shot. Bolo, a nice headshot there onto Laxing. Top floor control established. He has the diffuser as well, but only 20 seconds to make this happen. A fake out with the impact, thinking he might play on the vertical holes, but he's going to confront the site directly. He's got to force it out. Roamer inside a piano. He hears that, goes for the fight, but the timing is so off. This is truly unfortunate, and he'll lose it out to Foxay, who does a little bit of taunting before finishing map number 2.
And that's it. OXG stealing Villa away 8-6. Not as close as you would have thought after that Coastline brawl. And Clubhouse still on the docket. We will have a third map. Michael, I feel like we had a lot of 2 maps with you and I together. That was an impressive showing from OXG. TSM very much in control the first half side swap. And well, they both go 4-2, a very attacker-sided Villa. And then a lot of mistakes from TSM through a couple of those later rounds. And I hate to say it because you don't want to take away the successes of OXG. But TSM got a little sloppy on a couple rounds, and OXG punished them every single step of the way. And sure, you got to give credit to OXG for being able to capitalize off of that. But at the same time, TSM shouldn't have been making those mistakes. They shouldn't have been going in solo. They shouldn't have been making hero plays. They shouldn't have been acting off of limited intel. It worked for a little bit, but ultimately ended up being their downfall. That said, we got a break for you. We got analysts for you. We'll see you in a couple minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, everyone. Map 2 Villa going to OXG. And Tara said, frankly, this wasn't a super serious game. And then that changed. My goodness, did that change. Those last couple rounds were absolutely nuts. Apparently, OXG was like, yeah, let's make this go to 3, gentlemen, just because we can. Billy and Jesse, let's look at these replays. I mean, those last couple rounds, they were just jaw-droppingly good.
Yeah, the last couple of rounds were just amazing. I'm going to let Jesse touch up on that, but earlier in the map, I didn't know we were going to get a super serious Villa game, and like Hicks said, Coastline wasn't really what I expected, but then from this point on, things started heating up. The clutch by Laxing and Foxy, the other big plays, Bio getting the double kill, it was actually insane. And Oxygen turned a map around from what looks like a loss into one of the biggest wins today.
Yeah, we had so many crazy plays at the end here. This is going to be a Chiefs 4K and 1v1 with the Vulcan. That was insane. And then this overtime was really dominated by Foxy in my mind. I believe he got back-to-back triple kills in these. So, I mean, a really well-executed final couple of rounds coming in from Oxygen. Really fun one to, or fun way to end out this map for sure.
And we do have our statistics up right now, and you were just talking about Fox, and he's at the top of the leaderboards. Man, achieved was absolutely insane as well. But Veli, why don't we start off talking about Oxygen?
Okay.
You were just saying this. They're ridiculous. They're creative. They're skilled. I mean, like I said, like there were so many great rounds. Round 11, I remember just sitting there and my jaw was just dropped. I guess Bio's ears were burning a little bit, Veli, because he turned up there.
I told you Bio was going to turn up on me, right? But
yes.
It's a simple fact, and I ran the CGG, shout out to that website, and I took a look at the stats. I mean, this team, they lead the way with the most 1vx's by 1, and a lot of teams, they're close, but they're not there. But there's also an interesting statistic I wish CGG had, maybe a 2vx, just for this team alone, because we have seen countless times, including last Playday. If you count the clutches by Foxy and Laxing, we probably saw 3 or 4 of them. Like, that's major. And that was a 2v4, by the way, against TSM. Nobody gets away with that when it comes to TSM. But I really like what I see from Oxygen, and you see a lot of these players on more aggressive operators still. Bio, I was wanting to see how we did on Zofia. Bio passed the test to me. Yeah, he had utility problem in the beginning, but then he turned up later on. He started racking up a lot of kills, including the 2K that in the round. You know, it's kind of like the Splash Brothers from Golden State Warriors with Foxy and Laxing with the clutches. In Bio, he jumped in there too. He was a third Splash Brother, so it was really fun to see that. This third map is any man's game. I don't know what to expect, Jackie.
Yeah, towards the end there, they totally seemed in sync, and just that team was fired up. Like, we were all just like, what just happened? Jesse, let's talk about the first half a little bit, though. And the beginning of this map, it was more focused on roaming. Later, though, it seemed like it was more focused on executes. Talk to me about TSM, though. They did really seem in control, regardless of how the game was changing up. They did get a little bit sloppy at the end there, but you were impressed with their adaptation.
Yeah, I think there was a ton of adaptation going on in that first half particularly. You know, those first 2 rounds probably. OXG had a lot of like pretty off-site roamers, so they were getting pretty aggressive, and TSM countered that really well. So Oxygen brought it back in around number 3. They played a little bit more passive with their off-site players, and it did trip up TSM for a little while. Slash got kind of crazy in round 4. By round 5, we saw that TSM were adapting as well. You know, making sure that they hold back their attacks a little bit more, take things a little bit slower, make sure they clear out those roamers while saving as many people as they can. And rounds 5 and 6 really did go their way just by that site executes and the coordination really shining through in those dying seconds. And I kind of thought that, you know what, all right, they just got a 4-2 half. This should be done and dusted for TSM because their defenses are usually so good on Villa. That's why it's their best map. They have an 80% defensive win rate on this map. I thought for sure they'd get at least 3, but no, they only end up getting 2 for 7 of their defensive rounds against Auction Esports. So that really surprised me, and honestly, you got to give a lot of props to Auction for managing to hold out so many attacks.
And by the way, Jackie achieved as the best player in the universe. Period.
Literally, Twitter is like blowing up. All I can see is like his name like all over my feed right now.
That was amazing.
Gentlemen, before we move into map 3, I'm just like, there were just like so many good plays. You know, you both went with TSM. Veli's got his weird thing going on, so
it ain't
you know,
weird. I'm
not
TSM.
even getting. Yeah, okay. Your little like weird jinx thing.
Yes.
Okay, so you're sticking with TSM.
Of course.
He's like, I ain't gonna say anything else.
Yeah.
Okay, Veli's doing his like weird thing, but
I'm not gonna go in depth about why TSM is gonna win. Y'all know the deal. I'm going TSM. Just simple.
We know the deal exactly. Jesse, talk to me though. Are you gonna be switching up now?
It's tough, right? Because the last time these two teams went to Clubhouse, it was a 7-1, but that did seem like a bit of an anomaly. I do like Oxygen on Clubhouse, and the way they played that last map, they seems like they're throwing off TSM. I'm going to go for the flip. It's been a while since I've gone for this flip-flop, but I think I do lean towards Oxygen a little bit more heading into map 3. They just really impressed me on that last map. So, yeah, I'm ready for them. I think they're going to carry this momentum through.
All right, it was so funny. Map 1 just seemed so relaxed, and then map 2, I'm like sitting over here like sweating. I'm just like, whoa, this like turned up instantly. But ladies and gentlemen, let's roll into map 3 Clubhouse. I'm going to hand it over to our casters, Kixon and Taro, and I heard them mumbling during the break. They're like, yeah, I'm excited for this map 3. So take it away, gentlemen.
It wasn't just during the break, by the way. It was all throughout the entire second map. I have no idea what to expect here. Michael, after the last couple rounds that we witnessed on Villa from round 11 onwards, I have been left speechless, metaphorically, obviously, because I've had to cast, but what an ending that was, and it really does set us up on a very strange footing for Clubhouse.
Yeah, I think the thoughts mostly are we going to see more of the same now as we transition on the Clubhouse, or are we going to, where we're going to find ourselves back on Coastline in a manner of speaking? I certainly hope for the former, as that Villa map was something special. I think we've always known that Achieved pops off on Villa, but darn, he really did show something special on that map. Oxygen managing to win despite all of that, though, is doubly impressive. So we'll see what's going to happen here now as we load into Clubhouse, the final and decider map for this series. Start off ban phase with Oxygen on defense and TSM on attack.
Really incredible how the mood of this matchup changed from the first 3 to 4 rounds of Coastline to the final 3 to 4 rounds of Villa. They are night and day. That ending to Villa was something that would be fitting of a championship matchup, not a matchup that is really just for a couple $100, $1,000, I think you said, and that was it, because no matter what, these two teams are going to play each other in the mini major. So it's really just for, oh, do you want second? Do we want third? Who's gonna take it here? Operator bans, though, happening on your screen. I'd like Slash to be acknowledged for always being right that TSM was going to ban Ace both times. Congratulations, Slash. You called it well. Capitao and Ace, the 2 attacker bans. Mira will join. Last defender ban. Any speculation here, Michael?
Either a Wamai, a Jaeger, or a Malusi, or maybe a Valkyrie. I doubt it. It's yeah. See. Oh, it's a Vigil. Wow. That came out of left field. It kind of makes sense, though. We've seen Vigil be definitely a major presence for both teams, actually. On the roam, not what I would have expected, or not what I did expect, as you all heard what I expected. That's going to leave a lot more tools open to the defense, though, on the actual site hold. So, yeah, a little bit of a different ban there, but I can respect it, especially on Clubhouse, where the roam is really hard, and every piece of utility that can assist the roam is super valuable.
Merc is TSM's Vigil main for the most part, so that was a targeted ban towards him. You have to suspect, and the way that he was able to waste time on defense on that role on Villa worked out pretty well. Obviously, Vigil has a larger influence on a map like Clubhouse too, because we are not that far removed from the old mute Mozzie Vigil castle meta that we saw that allowed players to roam upstairs. Now present is mute, but that's about it. The holdover from the olden days. Instead, it's going to likely be, my guess is, some emphasis upstairs with the Legion in play, rather. No Vigil in play for them, so they've subbed in both the Malusi and Foxay on that Legion to cover that role upstairs. I mean, Vertical's up there right now. The Mute's up there. Maybe they'll leave just Bio or Slash on site. I'm not sure. We'll wait to see exactly how this shakes up for OXG.
A smoke mute. Oh, okay, Slash. He is playing on the smoke right now. The roam is primarily around jungle there. You can see Foxay trying to delay. He'll be just hunting the drones to try and get the attack to think about him. Drop opened up there by Moto, offering a rotation, but he's not likely to use it. He'll probably commit to the main stairs, so it wasn't necessary, but not necessarily a bad thing they opened it either. Vertical will get achieved, so this roam is working out for Oxygen. They already pick up the first frag of the match. This is a great start for the defense. The attack certainly has a chance.
And Achieved getting some repayment there for what he did in his clutch with the T5, and unfortunately for him, he's not going to do too much. Laxing tries to Assassin's Creed drop right onto the head of Bolo, but Bolo is just simply better reflexively, and he shuts down Laxing. So they're back to a 4v4. Now Chala upstairs trying to hunt one down. Vertical's playing just by construction, watching that angle into Master. And if Geo drones in that direction from the doorway leading into Master, then Chala will be able to find him quite well. Whether he wins the fight or not is an entirely different question. There goes the drone into construction. Bolo nearby. Vertical will be chased off of this position over towards red. A hail of bullets will greet him, but none actually find their target. It looked like the door behind him was shot as well, as both he and Biologic head down through blue. Not bad timing. I mean, you wasted 90 seconds or so for OXG. That's a big W. You took out Achieved. You only lost Laxing. But now you lose Vertical. You get spotted from Merc. I don't know exactly what Vert was doing, but advantage goes in favor of TSM.
That advantage now being established. Still a lot of time for the attack to go for the execution. Impacts from below, and that's going to force TSM to scatter somewhat. But it's fleeting. The attack has the control they need by the main staircase now, and they will turn it into more, I'm sure. With the Moto drop being opened up by the defense earlier in the round, there is an opportunity to actually execute onto the site through Church. There is also plenty of hard destruction on the attack. Since the impacts were used elsewhere, they won't be used to impact trick this drop down. Foxay doesn't have any. So Kitchen drop opened up. Still hard destruction for the wall. Thatcher has an EMP. He can get the mute jammer on the wall, but the time is fleeting. And the EMP is used by Blue. Biologic aware of his opponent, given the EMP being thrown out. The Thermite goes down, as does the Thatcher, and it's a full court press for Oxygen, leaving just Bolo, who gets shut down at the end of the hallway. A solid round there for Oxygen when it came to the actual site defense. You almost would have called it a flawless, but because they lost that player early in the round on the roam, you just can't.
That is by far and away, as a side note, my favorite death animation.
They stumble.
The running man.
Yeah.
Where you kill somebody as they're mid-motion and their body just kind of keeps going. And it's gruesome, but it's kind of funny at the same time.
Certainly is.
Man, OXG on defense on Clubhouse. All right, so let's set the stage. We talk about defender-sided maps. We talk about attacker-sided maps ever so slightly. Villa was a map that will suit the attackers quite well. We saw a bit more of a lopsided attacker-friendly Villa previously. Coastline also happens to be a decently attacker-friendly map because of the way it plays out and the flexibility that attackers have, especially when they're not handcuffed to bringing a hard breacher. They can bring operators like Yana, Dokkaebi, Ying, Jackal, Capitao, Gridlock, Lion, etc. Operators that you don't see a lot of outside of that map because the roles are much more rigid. Now, Clubhouse is a very rigid map. You always need a hard breacher. A lot of teams are going to bring two, especially when they're attacking upstairs, and oftentimes when they're attacking downstairs as well, whether it be a Maverick, whether it be a Hibana, whether it be a Thermite, or even Ace. Obviously, Ace is banned, so he won't be showing up. Maverick is quite common because you also need a set of grenades, because the way that teams play on this map, they're going to be spread out quite substantially. Now, most of the bomb sites are long and winding and are big enough to sit all 5 defenders on without being too stretched from one another. Even on this bomb site upstairs on Cache CCTV, that garage becomes an extension of the B-bomb site by the rotate that is created right by Vertical. It allows you to pass through that, to hold it down, and it also prevents the attackers from taking garage as willingly because they have to be wary of you swinging on them from the rafters above, a fight that the defenders will win an awful lot of the time because of the way that perspective and the vantage point from that top floor works. So when you think about it that way, OXG did what they needed to do. They won on a bomb site that you're expected to win, which is Church down below. Defenders are often expected to win this Cache CCTV upstairs. Things get a little bit shaky when it comes over to Gym and Master, where we'll likely see next, if OXG prevails here. And the action has already been decently swift.
As the wall has been opened up, Z-Mark going on into the corner of garage where Foxay sits by Harry Potter. He'll fall down into Oil Pit, though, and he was protected by the green crate, so he was not exposed to the shots from Lounge. He sees the gig is up, though, and runs away, so that's the right call for Foxay. TSM not managing to get any of the picks that they've been bargaining for. Laxing will also be slippery and fall all the way down to the bottom, not giving an opportunity to the attack to get that kill. Oxygen so far have been great on remaining elusive and staying alive. I'm surprised that impact there from Zofia did not get the shield, because here is right on the shield. There's even some of the floor under the shield destroyed, but no. So Bolo doesn't have any more impacts. He won't be able to get the shield moving forward. That's going to rest on Achieved shoulders. He's the only one who's got utility to destroy it now.
Merc is ready inside of construction as OXG taking a beating will now get finished off, and that's Slash to catch the grenade tossed in from Achieve. That's a very strong operator with a nitro cell in hand, possibly for that bandit, and he is gone. He can be of no use. There goes a Goyo shield in front of Foxay as he is pinned down at the top of red stairs. Other Goyo shield in front of Bio. He needs to be wary of that, as there could be an explosive tossed his way, doing substantial damage. Foxay falls off as Bolo had picked off vertical, and TSM's lead will continue to grow. If Foxay pops out of this window on blue, unless he's very good at this shot, he'll lose his dance with Bolo. Bolo on the upside down rappel will catch him either way. Merc gets 1-2, and that leaves just Foxay to die at the top of red stairs. It was nearly a flawless round, round 1 for OXG, but it is a flawless round in round 2 for TSM.
Beautiful stuff there for TSM. This constant back and forth, this ebb and flow we see with these teams is unrelenting, it seems. So, with Cash being successfully, or rather unsuccessfully defended by Oxygen, they're probably going to re-up on the site. TSM will get another crack at it. Basement is something that TSM will have to reassess when they get to it, but that's for later times. Most of that round comes down to Oxygen, yes, being slippery on their roam, and yes, staying alive for a good long time, but as soon as Oxygen was corralled back into the site, into where TSM could get their hands on them, well, TSM's grip was certainly very firm. And the gunfights all went the way of TSM. It's really as simple as that. With your open angle, your utility use out of the way, TSM were winning their gunfights. Oxygen certainly left themselves in some very exposed positions. There were some moments of, I think, smart play from Oxygen, but ultimately, they never really took the fight to TSM and were unable to build any kind of momentum in that round, any kind of engagement advantage. Since TSM was allowed to just chip away from a distance, they were able to just, well, take the round off of that. There's not a lot of depth to this site when it comes down to actual contact on the bomb site itself, and you forget about those roamers.
Oh, back up to Cash, as you're not going to want to go to Gym Master and Church opens up next. This is a sensible decision for OXG. You like to comment that when teams go to the same bomb site a second time in a row, it's because they have figured out what went wrong. Now, in that previous round, what went wrong? The answer is everything. It was a flawless round for TSM. So any bit of learning from OXG will bring that round closer, because I don't think there can be more of a blowout than that was. So I think it's a safe call for OXG to do this, not just because Gym Master is not exactly the bomb site that a lot of teams want to go to defend on. They don't rush to do it. But additionally, because OXG flubbed that round so hard that basically anything is going to make it easier for them. Now, the wall has already been opened up inside of CCTV, so this is the same pace that was set from TSM in the previous round. And you've opened it up with the thermite charge. You've still got 3x Kairos left, and Geo has 1 remaining of those exothermic charges that he can apply wherever he wants. You can see the utility present on your screen, and TSM really haven't used all that much just yet.
Huh. You know what I just noticed?
What's that?
The pipe on the roof that's emitting the smoke on this map comes from nowhere.
Huh. Never gonna unsee that. Thanks for that.
Yeah, I mean, you just go up 1 level, Mr. Spectator. There, yeah, just comes from nowhere. There's nothing, just poof, smoke. Anyway, Oxygen still on the roam. TSM have cleared out a good chunk by Jim. They are doing a good job of corralling these roamers again, but not as good as the last round. As you can see, this has been a deceptively, I guess, slow round, as it's down to the last minute and there's still roamers, no corralling going on. The attack just has control over by Master. That's just about it, and it's almost like TSM has taken a much further back approach on this execution.
Yeah, this is not the same level of confidence that we saw displayed from them previously, and I do think some of that is that OXG have changed up the way that they're roaming, and that patience from TSM is hoping to catch them on a mistake. And while the mistakes being made are going to be from TSM, as they lose both their heads up to Foxay and Laxing, and OXG starts this off. That's a dropped grenade from Achieved, taking out Geo. Big missed opportunity, and it's a flawless round for OXG if they can kill Achieved without losing anyone. Achieved will try to stop that, but won't do it. Flawless. 4-1, and then back in the other direction. It doesn't say flawless on the screen, but I didn't see a single member of TSM die.
Maybe it's because of the team kill? I don't know. Because I didn't see anyone from TSM die.
Yeah, that's very...
Sorry, Oxygen. I didn't see anyone from Oxygen die either.
Yeah.
But my guess is the team kill upsets the flawlessness of it somehow. I don't know. Maybe we missed something?
I mean, it was a 5v1 right at the end. Unless Achieved killed the Maestro right as he died. But I don't think that's the case. So, weird.
Yeah. My best guess is that because Achieved got the nade kill onto his teammate, that maybe that changed something in how the game asserts flawlessness. But either way, we can call that a flawless round, I think, Parker, and, move on. So a flawless answered with a flawless. Beautiful job from both teams. Oxygen. I don't know if it's really down to how they played that made the major difference there. I think I would honestly point a finger at TSM's play. I mean, we strangely didn't see TSM do much work in regards to the roamers that round. They did try to haphazardly rotate some players to clear out roamers late, but at that point, the roamers knew how much ground they had to play with and were quite comfortable, won their gunfights, and then, okay, well, your roam clear is gone. Now you have to execute onto the site, and the roamers are collapsing on you from behind, and oh gosh, and everything just goes wrong for TSM. So, yeah, it's interesting how we're seeing this constant sway back and forth with these squads.
These teams are just so evenly matched, and I mean, this is an exciting preview for the major.
Yes,
because they are going to meet again no matter what happens here. So we will get a redo of this matchup in a pretty short period of time. Now, obviously, I would imagine the maps are going to be different. I don't suspect we're going to see the same brawl on the same maps. But losing Villa is something that is probably going to rock TSM. I wouldn't be particularly comfortable with that one. I mean, who knows? Maybe there still is a prevailing opinion that they are not the most invested in this matchup, just as apparently Bio is invested in having 75 HP as he just trades it away. And I don't even know if he was able to hold Bathroom with that impact grenade. He could have totally botched that. It does look like the panel is... Now it's gone. So... wasn't able to do enough work, unfortunately, for Bio. That's a tough one. Fox A is left to guard the Bathroom as we hit the halfway point of round number 4, and it's the first Gym Master defense, which is a bit strange because Church is available for Oxygen, but they're not going to go there. And TSM will sink their teeth into this defense, taking out Laxing as Merc is challenged over by Jacuzzi Wall.
Gas canisters coming out very early here for Fox in an effort to try and delay this assault. I mean, he'll be successful to that end, but at what cost? Now that there is no delay left on the attack, it's all going to come down to the gun work and the evil eyes for Oxygen. TSM with the man count advantage do definitely have a favor here. However, this is actually a fairly defendable site even with a man count disadvantage. Ooh, that's a close call there for both players. Foxay definitely the one coming out worse for wear as he incurs quite a lot of damage, but at least he gave back a little bit onto Geo. As we come down to the last 30 seconds, the attack really has to consider their presence in the site. What a vault there from Merc, and not heard by Biologic, and he'll win the fight. That's great positioning, but answered back swiftly by Foxay. Achieved, though, on top of him, and he'll get the control from the workshop door. Geo going for the plant now. Slash and Vertical need to retake from from the office and workshop. They're not going to have an easy go of it. In a post-plant now, especially, it becomes hard, as now it's a 2v4 with all the guns on TSM up and looking. There goes Slash. Here comes Vertical, but at least he gets one on his entry, not the second. Achieved up close, and he'll get that final frag. TSM managed to claw out that round.
Well, settle in, everybody, because this one is going to be going the full distance, I suspect. This is now 4 rounds with the teams trading back and forth, and, well, there's been a very clear winner in every single round. Really hasn't been up for much debate. This has been dominating performances as both of these teams have swapped back and forth. TSM never having led, but They're going to look to try to break that now. For OXG, they're going to go back to an all too familiar bomb site. Except the only difference is they're not going to be running a mute unless Laxing 6 picks to a mute.
Ha!
I'm humbled. I am humbled by Laxing choosing to do that. Anyway, it's the same lineup from OXG that worked out before, and they were able to roam heavily on that second floor, waste lots of time, and they won their early gunfights. They won their early gunfights, and they bled TSM on numbers, and then when TSM decided, hey, let's maybe leave the roamers and try to pressure the bomb site, they got beaten back from that position as well. So, all said, it was a pretty definitive round from OXG in round number 1. If they can replicate that, that'll be good for them. I mean, that's where we see this pendulum swinging back and forth, the ever-referenced metaphorical pendulum. But it doesn't look like OXG is actually going to roam all that much upstairs. It looks like it's going to be mostly on the first floor. The second floor is Laxing up there right now alone. This could get really interesting. Slash on the main stairs, Foxay over by Strip. He picks a fight with Chala. Look at how little HP Chala has remaining. Foxay, that's a gamble that pays off, and that'll shake up Chala now, especially with nitro cells on the board, especially with impacts on the board, and 3 gas canisters. Chala is not going to be the front line when it comes time for the execute, and that is troubling for TSM.
He's going to at least be able to use his EMP still, and he'll allow the jacuzzi wall to be opened thanks to EMPing what is likely a mute jammer on that wall. So, yeah, I mean, it's troubling, but I'm sure Chala will figure out how to throw his EMPs from a safer position. Right now, the roamers still persist. It's still delay. Vertical, gonna be holding upstairs on a pixel angle towards the master door. This is a dangerous challenge, but he could get the advantage over Achieved thanks to the angle. Achieved with a good read there, but slightly off. Can't really blame him. Now the drone comes up to assist Achieved in actually taking this fight. Here come the tracers from Malusi, trying to fight through the hole that was made, but he'll just cross. Achieve not able to catch him in that cross, and this should be an easy retreat for Vertical if he decides to go back to the site, but he's deciding to stick instead. It's dangerous, but it could actually get him some significant utility advantages. He's able to find now 3 drones on this hold upstairs. That'll hurt the attack when they try to execute onto the site. They won't be able to crucially find out where the anchors are playing in the site itself. Vertical just continues to challenge, and I'm honestly impressed by the fact that he hasn't died yet. He finally will to Merc, who cuts him off from the front door. Jeez, what a lot of time wasted.
I would say successful, though, for OXG. The problem now that TSM is going to have to confront, despite having an advantage, is they're going to have to get into the bomb site. And like I said, Chala is so low that, well, if he gets too close to anything, except maybe even a stray bullet, he is gone, and we are back to a 4v4. Now, he's been able to use his gadgetry, and he can still watch from farther away, but he has to play much safer. TSM have 30 seconds left to put this all together, and that is no easy task, especially given their spread right now. They are going to need to coalesce around this blue portion of the map and then push in towards Arsenal. Bio's there with the carbine in hand to try and do something. He'll lose his reticle in the ADS next to him as the EMP goes off. Some damage done to Geo, but Merc finds kill number 2. Merc has been so good on Hibana so far. Through the smoke, Geo will trudge, but he gets downed by the shotgun. Slash is looking for another to try to come to Geo's aid, and there he goes. He'll get it onto Achieved. Another one for Slash. The man's a maniac. 3 kills before he gets dusted off, but the timer runs out and Laxing gets the final pick on T'Challa. That's all she wrote. OXG takes yet again another church defense.
Nice hold there for Slash. The right time, right place, perfect operator. And here you can see that 3K in all its glory. Managing to single-handedly hold on to the Moto door. And unfortunately for TSM, that's where they chose to set up their attack. A mistake made. And the punishment rendered by Slashug. So now, cash defense for the last defense of Oxygen's first half. We'll see if this goes the way of TSM. They can even it out, but it's feeling a lot like Oxygen's going to be the one to take the first half. 4-2. based on the play we've been having from both of these teams, TSM's just making more mistakes. That last round is a great example. I don't really care how you look at it. That push by Moto was a blunder and a half. Even if Slash is the perfect operator to hold that kind of position, still, the fact that none of those attackers had their gun up to take the fight at all, that really does tell a story.
10 seconds to go.
This has been a remarkable turnaround from OXG after what happened on Coastline. Could have been very easy for them to just kind of fall back. I know that everybody that's playing this game has a certain level of pride, and nobody's going to want to deliberately avoid winning a matchup. So it's not like they're coming in saying, okay, you know what, we lost Coastline.
Whatever.
God, you know, we got a game of Risk. We got a game of Catan to play. Let's send this one home early, boys, you know? That's very much not the case. So obviously for OXG, it became a point of proving the haters wrong, whether it be something they saw in themselves, something they saw on social media, whether it just be them as competitors always want to win. We're not entirely sure, but regardless, OXG certainly woke up after that very first map. It played well to TSM's strengths. OXG clawed back on Villa, and now I've looked pretty fine here on Clubhouse as they go back upstairs to Cash, a bomb site that they had won previously on the third round after dropping it on the second. So mixed results here, but they won the last one in commanding fashion. It was a flawless round for them, and they stopped TSM dead in their tracks every single time. TSM doing the same thing they've done now 3 takes onto this bomb site, which is open up that CCTV wall really quick. And now it's about discovery and determining which part of this bomb site, or which part of the bomb sites, is easiest to pressure and provoke a reaction from OXG off of.
Well, so far on this round, we've seen no serious reaction yet. Slash has taken a little bit of damage, but it was equally dished, as you could see on Merc. So there's nothing drastic happening for either team. Setup for TSM is pretty straightforward. Once again, they're going for a workshop take. They've got the rotations they need, thanks to the sledge and the soft walls there. They're going to be able to open up the workshop wall in all likelihood, but they have to be sure that they've cleared out underneath by that drop. Stun's going in to clear ADSs. And well, my discs, he gets one for free there. That's pretty nice. Merc also will get slashed, so the first frag goes the way of TSM. Importantly, that's the Maestro. But a run out all the way from Strip Club will down Merc. Bolo answers with getting control of Garage, but that is reacted on by Laxing, who gets control back in Garage for Oxygen. Biologic in the site, doing some serious work, and the wall has yet to be opened, so he's got a lot of maneuverability here. Even man count, but finally workshop wall gets opened. But it might be too late, as the first gas canister comes out. If Biologic is able to chain his utility, he will give this a really great run on a hold inside of Cash. But we're coming close to the end. The attack has to make a move. Chala, Geo, and Merc must go for some execution somewhere. And right now, they look like they're second-guessing themselves. Looks like Merc's going to vault on in. One on the platform, coming in through Breach. Merc gets the vault kill, and Chala will get Laxing, leaving just Foxay. But he doesn't have C4. All he has is information. He'll spray on default plant and force Merc to relocate, but the information's not there anymore. New Mark's coming out, but there's not enough reaction from Foxay. He will get it in the last second there. Merc goes down, and Oxygen win the first half.
Bio finds that one a little funny. You didn't have the coverage you wanted to try and take that fight, and I mean, with how much spraying was being done down below, I do think you kind of need to question why Chala didn't bother to try to drop down and go for that coverage. You know, there was what, 3 seconds off of the defuse plant before Merc swapped, and the diffuser was at about a second left. So that's 9 seconds that they knew that Foxay was downstairs, and yet Chala stayed up top. I get it, because if Chala goes down there and he loses the fight, the diffuser gets planted, Merc is on 1 HP. I understand that. But I still have to think that if Chala maybe had tried to pressure Fox, well, Fox probably wouldn't have given up on his goal of taking out that diffuser and would have been put into a gunfight straight up, at which Fox could have very easily won, and then, well, it would be incumbent upon Merc to be able to hold it off. That round in particular was a great set of games for Merc. He played so well on those 6 rounds. His entry was strong. He was doing it on Hibana. His gadgetry work was great. His game sense was strong. He has been the MVP of the first half, even though OXG 1-4-2. I'm still saying that Merc was the best player in the lobby through those first 6 rounds. He's been deceptively good and all over the scoreboard, especially on those entry kills. We'll see what he can do on defense now, as that was the first half in the books, obviously. And TSM's very first defense is going to be downstairs inside of church.
This is a solid site, of course, but we've yet to see TSM play it. Right now, the focus is, of course, going to be on the top floor. You've got Mute and Mozzie both being brought here for delay factor. Plenty of delay going on, of course, with the drones being slowed or at times even stopped, cold in their tracks, unable to find out where the roamers are. It forces face checking out of the attack, and that's very dangerous. You have to be careful with who it is that actually does that face checking. You lose a Hibana, for example, and you could lose the round. Though, honestly, when it comes to operator utility, in 2020, Rainbow Six, no matter who you're losing, it's always costing. That's one of the things that wasn't always like that. But, you know, you lose a Zofia, that's rough. You lose a Thatcher, ooh. Sledge, same thing. No matter who it is, it's gonna hurt. Now, it can hurt more and less depending on the site and what you need, but generally, it's always painful. As is that kill right there for Oxygen. Down goes Foxy over by the main lobby. And man count advantage TSM.
So Merc will break double digits. He's the first person in the lobby to do that, and Foxy being punished for his negligence, so to speak. You can see not even a scratch on the paint job of Merc. And his great R6 share team skin, by the way. I really do like that Vitality skin on the MPX. Look at that thing.
Triangle.
So choice. So choice. Anyway, Merc is safe downstairs with a minute to go for OXG to find the plot of this round. There is a pre-placed C4 avenue created over top of those barricades on Church Wall, unless it's already gone off. It sure does look like something blew up, but that could have also just been sledging being done by Vertical. We don't know. It is a little bit... That is a weird looking hole, actually.
Huh. I mean, maybe it was a double impact?
Yeah, could have been. I mean, there's no impacts present from the defenders. I'm not sure.
Maybe no. I meant by maybe Foxy got it before he died. I don't really know. Didn't see it, but what I did see was biologic killing achieved. Even man count now as we hit the last 30 seconds.
And there's Chala to take one on Laxing. It's a hot drop for OXG. Slash entering through Dirt Tunnel. He takes out Bolo. Merc has expended his Nitro Cell, so he pulls out the MPX and it finds its target on a bio before Vertical trades him off. Geo punishing Slash from Dirt Tunnel, so it's Vertical in a 1v2. He's got the diffuser, and with 10 seconds left, he's going to need to go for a plant. Or go for the kills, but he has no intel whatsoever. Spies one inside of blue, but Chala drops through the hatch, very conveniently opened up by OXG. And TSM will take their very first defense to try and tighten this game up.
Well played there. TSM very close to failure, but on the entry into the site, the frags just happened to go the way of the defense. Didn't actually see most of it. But what I did see there tells me that TSM did not relent in holding their own bomb site. So that's great to see. Lots of forced rotations before they had to wait for, a post-plant scenario. Not letting that happen. Oxygen trying to throw bodies at the problem, as is their style. But well-positioned players from TSM and great timing on the retake won out in the end. So... TSM clearly showing that they've got what it takes on defense. Though that was a close round, still, I think you can handily say that was a TSM round through and through. Just because of the way that Oxygen approached the site itself, with their forcing through bottlenecks and losing tons of manpower in the process. Now that we go to cash, of course, things are a little bit different here. And it's mostly going to come down to your standard hard breach, what's going to get opened up, what's not. We've seen through this map so far, neither team really putting a lot of emphasis on garage. Now that Oxygen's on attack, I'm curious if that's going to change. They have brought a double hard breacher in Hibana and Thermite, so that suggests that they will at least take two different routes, whether that be the balcony and the workshop or the balcony and the garage. Remains to be seen.
This is where Wamai is going to play. You usually see Maestro positioned up there, but Merc likes to play inside of Cash, and surprise, surprise, that's exactly where he is. Hugging that A bomb site, like a relative you haven't seen in quite a while. Foxay first pick onto Achieved. He storms in and gets the pick. That's not good for Achieved, who, after a strong Villa map, is not exactly having the same presence that he wanted here on Clubhouse. It's gone decently quiet. They need more out of him, and as well, Geo on Geo's roles in order to keep pace with Oxygen. You can't just allow Merc and Bolo to put this team in their proverbial backpack. Merc comes very close to taking some damage now as he's watching on this angle inside of CCTV. And he had the opening out onto the balcony where it appeared that it was the sledge of Vertical. Or no, it must have been Laxing playing on that angle. Or Slash to have fallen off. Could have been a good pick if it was Slash playing in that position, because he would have taken out the hard breach even though you've already opened up that CCTV wall.
The kill established. In the end, that's all that matters. Geo holding on to Garage still. TSM's in a decent array. The one big problem is these holes getting opened up on by below. That doesn't make any sense. Getting opened up by Foxay from below. That makes more sense. And he'll have a good amount of control thanks to his presence and the impacts. Merc is being forced into a really difficult position. He's able to impact trick from that position, though. It will cost him his life, but at least he denies a rotation for now. Oxygen still with the manpower advantage. And, ooh, that's unfortunate that a magnet still exists, so the evil eye will persist for TSM, giving them information and thus a chance at success. Geo inside a garage has got a big role to play. If he's able to do some damage from this position, he could win it for his team. It's going to be close, though, as the pressure continues to mount. The pinch between Workshop and the platform is the play here for Oxygen, but they don't have as much breach on the Workshop wall as they had hoped. Nice shot from Vertical, though. That's his second in the round. A big kill, too, as he gets a little bit of control by top red. Chala gets a kill with his gas canister and does a lot of damage to Slash, but not enough to kill him. And they'll miss the shot onto Vertical. Nice vault from Geo, taking out Slash on the server window, but from the platform, Laxing will get his kill, a trade back. It's the L85s versus Chala's SMG-11, and the ammo dwindles to the point of there being none. Laxing presses, and Oxygen will take the round.
All told, well executed from OXG. It did start with that early pick onto Achieved, so imagine TSM now needing to play 4v5 for 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Yeah, that's not exactly the position you want to find yourself in on CCTV Cash. Now, the good news for TSM at the time was that it was a Jaeger who ended up in that position. So his gadgets are already down. He's going to be a good gun to try and hold that bottom floor, especially hold lounge if he needs to, or even play off of construction, depending on where you want him to roam. It still was a piece, though, for TSM that was sorely missing. And after Cash blows apart, TSM are not keen to go back there. They're going to go over to Jim. All right, well, this is the opposite of what we saw and what we talked about from OXG when OXG was on defense, where after they got blown out and skunked on Cash, they went right back to it. That's not the case here. So for TSM, they're going to bring an all too familiar operator lineup. They've made some swaps on who's playing what. And with this setup, they're going to play, I would imagine, quite aggressively out of the bathroom, probably inside of logistics as well, and then inside of Cash. And there you go. The reinforcements just beginning inside of Cash. The Melusi Banshee placed in a spot where you are going to need to waste an explosive to get to it, given how explosives are a prized commodity right now. And they have Zofia, they have a sledge, they have 2 frag grenades, and I guess technically they have an EMP if they really want to use it on the Banshee. But other than that, OXG is going to need to use something to try and take that, and it's going to slow them down, which will allow TSM to swing on them, as we assume OXG will enter from CCTV. It tends to be the starting point, because if you want to pull off a successful take on to B or A, you want to isolate Cash, you want to isolate construction, and you want to make sure that if there's a rotate in the logistics, you watch that as well. That will be the goal, or the goals rather, for OXG on this attack.
Well placed Claymore there for Foxay in case there's a Workshop run out. Achieved takes down Foxay, though, as he attempts to rappel up to the roof. Great and brazen play there from Achieved. Doesn't get shut down for it, though, so a win's a win. So early man count advantage for TSM. And it's the type of man count advantage that is not likely to be responded to very quickly. It hasn't been. Cash control is still paramount here for Oxygen, so they're going to start their push over by Cash. To avoid impact tricking, the Hibana will place his Excaros low on the wall, which will allow them to detonate regardless of the impact. And there you go. Achieved. Forced out of Cash. He favors his life over continuing to delay.
Achieved flying very close to the sun, as we had seen Merc do on a previous round. Achieved over by the jacuzzi wall, though. Well, he's just going to wait for now. TSM a good spread above. Achieved has worked his way all the way over to Strip Club. This is quite the run he's gone on. And, well, he's going to be looking to maybe try to punish Slash, who's over on that jacuzzi. But is there a drone in position to catch him? That's the question. Additionally, is Slash even there at all? The answer is no, but Laxing is. And Laxing sights are trained directly on that spot. As Achieved gets droned out, the jig is up at this point. He's going to need to get back in with his head still intact. All the while, Bolo will need to do the same thing, albeit over by Cash. He's actually in a good spot. If there's no flank watch, Bolo is going to be able to just exert as much influence as he can. A Slash falls to Chala. So TSM starts this off. Chala punished by vertical. And there's Bolo on the flank to take out Vert. There's another over by Construction. Biologic is the wrecking crew in this case. Achieved with one as well. Down goes Bio into the doorway of Merc, and this is a quick round that falls in favor of TSM. The back and forth continues as the lead is still held by OXG. But TSM finds their fourth round, and they are one away from tying this up.
All right. That flank from Bolo was massive. Mostly that comes down to Oxygen not having sufficient flank watch. They definitely should have had somebody on a drone preventing that, or at least calling it out. Also, the way that Oxygen was pushing that, while they did get Cash control, they really didn't turn it into much else. The way that they were trying to pinch, instead of pinching onto logistics, after you pinch out Cash, you'll do that between the drop and the breach, and then also workshop itself, which that's the normal take. Instead of doing that, Oxygen went for a straight workshop into site kind of play. Also, they were playing heavy presence, well, not heavy, decent presence on the south balcony. So they kind of skipped a step. Now, it's not fair to say they skipped a step. They just decided to do a different take, and it was a little bit lighter than I'm used to seeing on that site, so I guess that's why it's so surprising. And ultimately could have worked, but because of the lightness of the attack, I would have expected there to be more awareness on the flank, because that gives you more freedom to divert the utility or the manpower or what have you, and we just didn't have that. So everything went wrong for Oxygen there, basically. And, yeah, TSM. Well done. Bolo, great awareness to know that he could go for that.
Actually kind of surprised there was no flank watch there from OXG as well. I mean, there's operators that can bring it. You have Claymores. In fact, seeing OXG bring 2 Claymores is, well, 2 more than we frankly see a lot of teams run nowadays.
Yeah.
You are, you know, it's a hot commodity to have flashbangs or frag grenades or smokes or breaches as well, because you're going to need explosives in some capacity to deal with the tools that the defenders are bringing. You know, there's bulletproof gadgets in spades these days. There's a deployable shield being held by Chala. There's 2 Evil Eyes from Merc. So, additionally, wanting to cut through those 6 blasts of the ADS that were brought by the 3 ADSs in particular, each having 2 of the 2 charges apiece from Geo, means that those flashbangs are going to be largely used to clear that utility out, and then a grenade or 2 will get tossed in the hands of Vertical. So there's this juggling that does tend to happen, and, well, let's see how it plays out. So we're a minute off of round number 10. And I have no sense of where we're going to go in this matchup. This is actually pretty remarkable, as I don't really know what's going to happen next. There are a few matches where you are just genuinely puzzled by what you've seen, and so far this has been it. OXG gets the lead-off kill on Bolo. Mozzie is down as Laxing starts things off with the first blood in round 10.
That's one of your premier fraggers on TSM. Merc the only one outscoring Bolo right now, and that's not a great start for the defense. So, with that initial kill, TSM have to be very careful with how they play out the actual site defense. But, key here is the fact that there's only a minute left for Oxygen to launch that assault onto a basement hold. And nothing's really been opened so far. I mean, maybe a few drops, possibly Moto. Yeah, Moto's getting opened right now. But that is rough time management there for Oxygen, and it mostly comes down to the roam. So the loss of Bolo might have been worth it. The result of the round will be the ultimate determining factor on whether it was or was not worth it. Vertical and Oxygen's hard breachers are making great use of the time they have left, but it is still very limited. Impact tricking going on, trying to deny the Hibana opening up the kitchen drop down. One impact left. C4 will miss. Achieve eats some damage. He rotates to box 3. Second impact goes out. It misses. Drop down now open, and Merc will play by K9, trying to hold on to Arsenal. Not an easy position to hold with, but he's got the Alda and full HP. He's probably going to be able to make it work. Stun's going in here to try and disrupt the hold. Down by box 3. Achieves his low, so that could be huge. Slash planting somewhere in the site. And there is coverage from the attack. Weird positioning from Vertical. And the plant is stopped as TSM retakes their site. They will get it all. And the round, TSM's favor.
5-5. And I didn't even see if TSM... after that very first pick, I didn't see after Bolo died if they lost a single person. In fact, I don't think they did. I believe it went from a 5v4 to a 4v1 as a single member of OXG managed to ride it out and still survive. A beautiful retake as Chalice seemed to do a double takeover by the bomb chassis. He sees somebody sitting there, peeks into church and thinks, oh, wait a second, is that? And then he swings out and gets the kill. So well played by him, and just a bit too much time wasted by Oxygen, which is kind of strange when you think about it. They got that opening pick from Bolo. Okay, you've cleared out most of that first floor. You should be able to pivot now. There's a botched impact grenade from Merc that allows the hatch and kitchen to get opened up. Let's be completely honest. That was a missed grenade from Merc on what should be decently standard to stop those X-Kairos. Didn't even get a single one. So now you've had two big things that work for OXG for them to be able to swiftly cut into the bomb site, especially when their positioning on Merc is known now, as they had seen the impact nade hit it and he was playing back by Arsenal. Yet still, it was TSM who were better spread out, especially inside of Church. The play from OXG to try and capitalize off of that on Church and Blue was non-existent, and the focus seemed to be solely on Arsenal, and it was way too linear. OXG had a lot of things working in their favor and yet still couldn't pull out that round, and TSM read the strategy and were prepared for it and handled it accordingly. Now, there's an impact, or rather it looked like there was going to be an impact tossed out there. It does not work. The X-Kairos go off on what is a defense upstairs and cache CCTV, and already some of that wall has been taken out. It's going to allow a clear line of sight up to the rafters, as so many Hibanas like to open up.
Yeah, that's a really good hold to have, because it means Geo cannot play on the north side of the rafter at all. Now, with the main breach being opened, TSM is going to start feeling that pressure. It looks like it's going to be a garage take as opposed to the workshop takes we've been seeing both of these teams whip out. So this is something different. Geo will truly be tested on this hold. His play is paramount. If Geo is able to persist on rafters, he will win the round for his team. He's being pressured by Vertical and Slash right now. Not an easy thing to deal with. Merc is going to be the one that is downed first. Stuns continuing to go out. Nade will miss, but just barely. More stuns onto Geo. He goes prone, and the second nade will land. Oxygen are relentless on their rafters control, and they will get it. Merc was picked up in the site, so at least a little bit salvaged for TSM, but lots of damage done by Oxygen's attack. They seem slated to take this round off of the control they established in Garage. The damage done already, and the fact that they're going to be able to now get a close contact, rotate into the site, potentially turning this into a plant scenario.
Look at how quickly they are moving through Garage to try and open this up, and TSM will now need to fight on their heels, just as we had seen before, and wall into CCTV totally open. They'll try to charge in. Merc can't take too much damage from his position. There goes a toxic canister to try to stop Slash, and it seems to have worked as some damage is done, and well, the Thermite will have to find another place to try and drop that diffuser down. He's now on drone with Foxay ready to spring on into action. And once discovery work is done, the 3 members of OXG will charge forward. Slash going for a plant in the opening, cross from both Foxay as well as Vert. And there's nothing they can do to stop him except for Bolo, who manages to gun him down before Bio can avenge his teammate. Still, the diffuser picked back up, and it's Vertical's turn to go for the defuse. Bio taking too much damage as Achieved is down below, showing the power of the Jaeger. Vertical getting the plant down successfully as Fox punishes Merc. There wasn't much left. Fox moves ever so slightly and allows Chala to retake through Cash. He has no utility left. He's just a gun, a warm body if you want to call it that. Achieved, trying to battle on the rafters. He'll lose the fight. Chala in a 1v3. He's not going to get anything. A big round from Vertical and Oxygen on match point and series point, up 6-5.
Big round there for Vertical, like you said, Parker, and a great strategy from Oxygen. I love how Oxygen subverted TSM's expectations. The setup was set up pretty standard for TSM. However, of course, this has been we've been seeing the workshop take every single round for both teams. The attack is always opening up the plat, going over to workshop, and that's their secondary execution mark. Then they crossfire between the two, and sometimes it works for the attack, sometimes it works for the defense, yada yada. But Oxygen going for a full garage take. They open up the platform and then they go in through garage, using their hard destruction very wisely, but most importantly, those stuns and grenades. There was clearly not enough of an ADS presence on rafters. There was not enough of those discs on rafters. Merc was overwhelmed in that position. So, with that being done now, TSM back against the wall. This round could give Oxygen a win on the series as a whole. With their back being against the wall, they're interestingly going to opt for Jim over Cash, which they could have re-upped. They could have defended again. This is going to be a very different decision than most teams would typically make, and it might catch Oxygen off guard, just as Oxygen's garage take caught TSM off guard.
Is it that strange, though, given that Cash has broken in favor of OXG both times? In fact, Cash is the only bomb site that OXG has won on attack.
That's not that strange.
So, I mean, if you look at TSM, they won Church twice, they won Gym once. They're going to try to keep that going, in which case then we'll need overtime between these two teams. Like I said, the real winner here is the audience. This was originally a match that wasn't billed as being really that important. That's significant, I guess you could call it.
I mean, it still isn't.
But in this case, it has turned out to be a great showing for what is going to be a matchup between them. So, when we get to the major, we get to do this all over again, baby. And hopefully it's as close as it was between these teams, because this has been a deceptively good match. It didn't start that way.
Yeah, no, Coastline was not great, but it's gotten much better, like you said. Now, the hold inside of Cash is the focus for TSM and Oxygen alike. The drone will not spot out Achieved, but it will as it ascends further. Don't know why I said that, but it did get further into the room. It didn't ascend anywhere. Anyway, TSM still have this control. Achieved is doing a great job here. He's got the impacts for the tricking. Exo goes on the wall. Impact works. Vertical gets Bolo, though, so a response is merited, and Achieved lands his shot. Second exothermic faked out. He picks it up. He knows that there's another impact in Achieved's pocket, so he's trying to get this open. It'll be a distraction, though, as the stun is successful and Habana is opening up the other wall. Xcaro stopped all the same, though. Achieved decides he wants to stay, and he continues to hold on to Cash. Elsewhere, Geo will go down to Foxay, and what a response. Achieved gets his second kill, and he keeps this man count still nice and even. There's the third. Achieved is going wild inside of Cash. He will not let go. And finally, his grip is forced off by Biologic.
And now Oxygen have 50 seconds to be able to try to secure this matchup. They've got Merc and Chala sitting inside of the bomb sites. Merc is over in Gym, Chala inside of Bathroom. OXG's advance with Foxay and Bio being the two remaining members in this 2v2 will be spread out quite even, but likely over towards Construction and towards Master. Gym, I imagine, will be completely ignored by OXG, as they just simply don't have the time to deal with the challenges that that bomb site presents. Which means that Merc is going to hit the deck and play against the entire bottom of this wall, which has been shot out. It'll give him a good vantage point to tear up the shins and ankles and feet of whoever comes his way. He's waiting for the call / the push as there goes a Goyo shield. Perfect time for him to drop and play this angle. Nobody doesn't see Fox. Chala guns down Bio, so Fox will have to pressure in towards the bathroom. Chala gives his position away. 5 seconds left. Fox around the corner, but Chala wins the fight. Overtime is on the board. This game's not over yet.
What a clutch from Chala. Foxe second guesses his peak, doesn't full check the corner. He didn't know, it's not his fault. The information just wasn't there. Bathroom was the only call. Now, most of that comes down to Achieve's play inside of Cash. His ability to pick up a 3K there and refrag 2 of his teammates and then assertively get a kill of his own really did sway the round to TSM's favor. And it's thanks to Chala, of course, in the end, but a lot of credit needs to be paid to Achieved himself. So, 6-6, defense first for TSM. They will descend into Church Arsenal. This is a solid site, of course. It's been actually fairly decent for both teams, if my tracking is correct. So, probably the right decision here for TSM to take their first OT round downstairs.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, you know, it's funny how long this one has gone as it was billed by the players before the match even got started on Twitter. Then again by the analysts and even by us in the first map where we weren't taking it seriously in comparison to the players not taking it seriously. It definitely seemed like a lighthearted affair through those first couple rounds. And then both of these teams decided, no, we want to win. No, I want to win. No, we want to win. No, I want to win. And now we are at this point where this is one of the more serious matches we've casted in quite a while, and it has proved to be quite exciting. It's a long one, that's for sure. And we've got one TSM defense followed by an OXG defense. Right now, it's an attacker, or rather, sorry, it is a defender-sided clubhouse, which will obviously benefit TSM. More challenging for the attackers to be able to pull this one off. The upstairs will be reinforced off, including the mute jammer that's on the wall being blown open as TSM is looking to try to stall some time. And, well, they've got Achieved and Geo above on that second floor, which means that OXG will have to confront them before they can head towards the first floor and then ultimately the bomb site, which is in the basement.
The delay work has been pretty good so far. It's very quiet, though, in this OT round. Both teams certainly worried about the potential outcome. This is an awkward roam clear for Foxe. He's actually surrounded right now. Players above him, players to his left, players below him, and it's the one below, Geo, to get the kill as Foxe attempts to assert dominance over one of those 3 fights. This roam for TSM is working great because Oxygen was not very thorough on their roam clear. And the information from things like that Valkyrie cam has been abundant. This opened up hole into the strip wall means that Bolo can take a fight whenever he pleases. And Biologic needs to be wary. There's likely a pest on the door. Tell me there's a pest on the door. I mean, it's a Mozzie. No, there's not. Bolo is spotted. Wow. That's surprising. Achieved will get vertical as well. So now man advantage further for TSM.
Vertical going down, the only player on OXG to have broken double digits. It means that Achieved, Merc, and Bolo are now above those themselves. And well, I said that the team couldn't rely on just being carried. Achieved came alive, and that's been huge. Even Geo's warmed up, and now Geo will find one before getting removed from Laxing, who enters through the back of Arsenal. He's deep in the bomb site. He's going to take some damage by B-bomb. Chala down, so this is winnable, but with Biologic going, it's unlikely Laxing will be able to do anything. Somewhat anticlimactic. There it is. TSM on match point as they bury Laxing inside of Church.
Well, Parker, I think we can both safely say that that is one of the least enthusiastic rounds we've seen from Oxygen so far.
Yeah, he wasn't even in Church, by the way. He was almost in Church. He was in the doorway.
He tried. He tried
to get in there.
Most of that, straight up, comes down to 2 things. 1, TSM's roam, and 2, Oxygen's lack of a roam clear. We saw a really haphazard push into the building, almost like Oxygen expected it to be clear. I'm not really sure why. And TSM took full advantage. Great roaming, well-placed Valkyrie cams, and just an overall great presence on the top 2 floors. And yeah, well, we did see one attacker from Oxygen get into the site. I mean, that's not really going to win you a round.
So back down to church they go. This has been the favored son of all of the bomb sites so far. I mean, if you look at the stats here on church, OXG played this twice, won both times. TSM played this bomb site 3 times, won every time. No attacking team has been successful on church in this matchup. So stands to reason that OXG would want to go downstairs just as TSM had. And I mean, the thing is with this bomb site and the way that the reworked clubhouse plays out is that thanks to a couple crafty teams, you can roam aggressively on that second floor. You can roam on the first floor. You don't need to sit everybody down below inside of the bomb site. There's lots of options and lots of opportunities for you to play however you see fit. And that flexibility that comes with the operator lineup and whatever ingenuity teams want to bring, it means that the attackers are going to have a pretty challenging go of it. And I mean, it's going to get even more challenging now as Merc gets taken out as he's trying to open up Dirt Tunnel. Slash is the one credited with that kill. And that is hugely impactful. That leaves just Geo as the only hard breacher for TSM. And TSM will now fight down a man for the remainder of this round.
That's really unfortunate there for TSM, and it would suggest a final round of OT, but don't count TSM out just yet. Even though that was their top frag and one of their 2 hard breachers, it's certainly very winnable. Especially, oh, whoa, what a run out from Vertical. He'll pick up a big kill before he's shut down by Bolo. That's one of the roamers top floor cleared out, but the other hard breacher eliminated. TSM now will have to force their way through bottlenecks. Oxygen knows this much, and well, they're going to start getting real passive in the site.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Well, I think OXG are playing this one perfectly. I mean, we would be saying the opposite if it didn't work out for them and say, well, why are they taking these chances? But I mean, OXG obviously reading into somebody playing over by Dirt Tunnel, and now that it's been opened up, it required one of those X-Kairos. The first 2 fatalities for TSM, the first 2 casualties happen to be their hard breachers. That's not good by any definition of the term. Now Bolo takes some damage and more from Foxay on the follow-up, but Bolo gets the last laugh, and just like that, the advantage that OXG has is completely evaporated. Just as the smoke will evaporate, Slash needs another gas canister to get tossed out. The Wrecking Crew upstairs will continue to destroy that soft flooring, putting Slash in a position where a beautiful shot like that will give his team even greater odds. Bolo punished inside a kitchen, and now Achieved is next up, taking tons of damage in the process. He's got a grenade that he can toss on down and will do just that, but it gets eaten by an ADS. If somebody swings on him, he will be exceptionally vulnerable. He needs to be very wary of that. It's just him and Chala left to do all of this damage with 30 seconds remaining. And for OXG, you've got to think their chances of prevailing quite high, as Achieve trades a lot of HP, trying to get biologic. Grenade goes down, it'll be dropped below onto the B-bomb site, as action just will not relent.
Chala and Achieved not going to have any real chance here. And Oxygen just waiting out these last seconds. But down goes Slash. That's big. Achieved still has ammunition in his primary. He's going to take the fight onto box 3 and win it. That's huge. Laxing will get 1 on the drop. 5 seconds. He just needs to stay alive. He'll whip out the shotgun. No, reloads the SMG and wins that 1-2. Laxing with a huge round. And Oxygen bring us to the last round of OT.
Raise your hand if you thought that we were going to need 15 rounds on this map, 14 rounds on the map before, and 11 rounds on the first map for bragging rights, Michael.
My hand is not raised.
You know, it was rhetorical. But goodness gracious, this has been really, really exciting.
It has
really
been
exciting.
Yeah. High five.
Unbelievable. Well, that's it. Everything is on the line here. Every single thing. It is a coin toss. It is a best of 1 round, a best of 3, with the possibility of 45 rounds, boils down to the single round, 1 round, where TSM will go on to defense, and they'll go to Jim, and guess what? They are perfect on this bomb site. Perfect on this bomb site because they've either attacked it or defended it a total of 3 times. They defended it twice, they attacked it once, and they won every single time. Obviously, OXG are going to try to flip the script. If you look at the tools that they're bringing, they've got all the things that will be required to take it. Number one, Slash is going to need to be a lot smarter with his exothermic charges than he was before. His target was the wall that both Achieved and Bolo are reinforcing right now, which is the top of red stairs. It is very easy to impact trick that wall and take out the exothermic charge, which happened twice from Achieved in that position, and it cost Slash the utility. Achieved was also able to gun down 3 separate members of OXG from that spot, so it was very pivotal to the flow of Jim on the last defense that TSM had in round number 12. If they can pick off Achieved early from OXG's side and or get that wall open without surrendering too much, then that will be a significant step forward. If you recall, it came down to a 1v1 where it was a clutch from TSM to win the round, so it certainly wasn't an easy affair for TSM to hang on, despite Achieved's plays inside of Cache. There's variables and moving parts that we'll need to keep an eye on, but let's get into the action now as we are 40 seconds into this very final round between these teams.
Very differently, Achieved will be playing inside of server. This is a big risk. He leaves himself exposed to many different angles, and if he's droned out, he could be easily shot through a wall. It's Bolo, though, who dies downstairs, hunted in stock. That is huge. Oxygen now with the advantage. This could be answered back, and it is, but swiftly by Vertical, much the same. Oxygen maintain their man advantage and get control of Cache. This roam has played out as poorly as it possibly could have for TSM. The only thing that could have been better for Oxygen is not losing Biologic, but that is a small price to pay for all of this time and control that has just been gifted to the attack.
And now the setup from TSM will turn their eyes towards construction, knowing that that's where the take is going to come from because they have pushed out Cache. The biggest obstacle that OXG had before being achieved is now removed. So no more do you need to worry or fret about your utility or your players dying inside of Cache. Vertical will post up there watching construction with the hatch open down below as OXG assembles over towards that construction avenue. Chala will be the first one in the line of fire playing behind a deployable shield inside a bedroom, and he'll engage on the Foxay. No reticle needed as he downs the Zofia, but she can withstand if required. If nobody from Oxygen wants to go help Foxay get up, he'll be able to do it himself. That's big. And additionally, Chala might not know that he's downed Foxay. Slash picks off Merc, so it's a 4v2, and OXG seem to be in full control of the bomb site and full control of this round. But Chala is going to be a significant difference maker. He narrowly misses out on the thermite posted up by Jacuzzi. As Slash attempts the plant, Chala will need to shut it down, and there he is! Turns with the Alda, 2 big kills, Geo in a 1v2, and he'll spray away with the Vector. This is going to be the hardest that TSM will have fought to try and stop this one, and Geo's going to get pushed from behind. As the marks are there for the diffuser to get planted from Foxay, Geo sprints on in. There are the marks. He'll shut it down. 10 seconds left. Geo versus Laxing in a 1v1. Laxing picks up that diffuser, but he'll be slowed by the Banshee. He's having trouble deciding where to go, and it's no choice but to go for the plant. He's not going to be able to get a kill, so you might as well be immobilized. All Geo needs to do is stop this with a Nitro Cell, and he'll do it. TSM takes the match, stealing it away from OXG. It takes 15 rounds, but they end up winning it in the end. TSM takes the series 2-1.
Great patience there from Geometrics. He had a rough map overall statistically, but impact frags and impact rounds, winning it by himself in the end. TSM, a hard-fought victory there. In that last round, also worth noting Chala's contribution. The man on Maestro cannot be shaken. 3 players on Oxygen, dropping double digits. Vertical, Foxay, and Laxing. 4 on TSM. Everyone but Geo. What an impressive performance from both teams.
And what a match that was. That's a sleeper pick for one of the best matches that we've seen this whole season, period. That was one of the best back and forths that we've had between 2 teams that are very evenly matched, and that should put to bed all of the rumors of OXG's demise as they were able to keep pace with TSM. Now, like we've said many times, these 2 teams are going to face off, and we are going to get this yet again in the mini major, and I hope it lives up to the billing. But Michael, that's it for us. We got some eager analysts that are going to want to dive into this incredible matchup of a game, so let's not keep you from them, and we'll toss over to the analyst desk.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Kixon and Taro. That was fantastic casting. have a wonderful night. But man, what a Map 3 clubhouse. That series going to TSM, beating OXG on Map 3, 8-7 in overtime. And Taro said that this has been a deceptively good match. After Coastline, we were like, meh. And then we were like, what the? And then after that, this final map, I don't even have words. I was screaming. Oh my gosh, Veli. Y'all just take it away. Yeah, exactly.
You guys hear
Let's
from
talk about
Jackie.
the replays.
Yeah, Jackie's energy is the same as mine. I didn't expect this match. I thought this was going to be a throwaway match, to be completely honest. But damn, Merc achieved going off. Chala having big plays. Everybody on TSM did well. Oxygen played extremely well together. Keyword together. And just this match, it was kind of like a preview of what we're to expect during the NA Major, right?
For sure. Yeah, I think that this was a really crazy good matchup. I think that it's nice to see what happens when you put two of the best teams in the world on maps that they both play rather than just one of the teams playing. This final round, good lord. Just the C4 from Geo, but the 2v4 overall was really impressive. I really enjoyed this matchup, and I'm happy that it didn't disappoint.
I mean, I think Intero said it best. Like, he was just like, what did we see? That was one of the better series that we've seen, frankly, this entire season. Like, I'm just absolutely floored. Yeah, okay, so OXG, they did not win there, but Veli, you were talking just about how impressed you were with their play. I do feel like towards the beginning of the stage, there were a lot of naysayers for OXG. I mean, they are finishing third, but I do think it's been a pretty impressive stage 2 for them. I mean, we're trying to be nice. I know this is a very difficult loss, but I know that you were like, man, OXG did really step it up, just barely edged out here.
So I would say stage 1 was overall more impressive in my opinion for Oxygen. I feel like, stage 1, I'm sorry, I'm all messed up right now. It was such a great game. Stage 2 was good at times, but the thing is, we're seeing them try to figure out, what's this final puzzle piece with strategy and game planning to get us all on the same level, and we saw that this matchup, right? I mean, Bio had, what was that, 12, 13 kills between the last 2 maps. That's great. And you know what? He doesn't even have to get all those kills. It's the fact that he stayed alive for so long to have an impact. We're seeing Slash become a lot more comfortable and aggressive. Laxing, Fox8, great, right? I mean, we talk about them all the time, but honestly, Vertical has been something different lately. Vertical started off this season really slow, and that's really important to point out, kind of like Merc, right? But like Merc, Vertical is risen to the top when it comes to entry fragging and just being one of the most dominant players in NA. So I think Oxygen, from what they showed us today, I'm not sure how the scrims go, but from what we've seen just now, they play together as a team, they take advantage of scenarios, and they will still win rounds even when it's a 2v whatever it is that you throw at them.
After that series, I have no idea how the major is going to go. I really don't.
It's going to be great.
I'm just like, all of these teams are just so dang good. Jesse, I want to talk to you a little bit about operator bans.
Yeah.
So our operator bans were Capitao, Ace, Mira, and Vigil. So talk to me about the ban's impact on this last map.
Yeah, so I mean, the attacker bans first. I thought it was neat because we got to see Ace banned out and Thatcher left on the board. Kind of brought us back to old Clubhouse in a lot of respect, where you had, a Thatcher and a Thermite and a Hibana, and opening walls was definitely not a problem for these teams. And sort of that post-wall life was the biggest issue for the attackers, right? Actually getting that plant down, winning those gunfights, which is a little bit different from what we've seen recently. So I like that. And then the other big one was the Vigil was banned off, and Vigil's obviously most important for that mute Mozzie Vigil roam. But what we actually saw was when we went to the bottom bomb site on Church Arsenal, 6 times it was played, 6 times there was a heavy roam game, and 6 times the defenders ended up winning it. And what ended up happening, they didn't use that Vigil roam, they still brought that mute, sometimes they brought the Mozzie, but they subbed in other operators. Oxygen were rocking that mute Malusi roam, which was really interesting and worked out similarly, and I think had a lot of success. And then, TSM countered back as well, bringing some Valkyrie, bringing that mute Mozzie, and really did impress me. So some different ways to play the meta that we know, and I thought it was really interesting and fun to watch.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen. Well, now we are going to start prepping for our next matchup, and that was supposed to be for bragging rights, and now there's actually something huge really on the line here, because it's the last spot in the NA qualifier, and then whoever loses they get nothing. You know what I mean? Like, it's just 7th place. Enjoy. So definitely amped about this next one here. We got E United versus Disrupt, so do not go anywhere. We still have so much more excitement ahead. We'll be back in a flash.